Or Jeff at $1. I'm pretty sure someone just donated $1 for everything for those two.
Hello, everybody. This is Freddeh.
I am takaze.
And I'm Malagron.
And we are about to play I Am Setsuna. At least for about 5 minutes, and then it'll become a completely different game altogether.
So you just want to get started?
Yeah, let's do this.
Are we ready? So the timer doesn't start right here, so I'm going to say, is this okay? Yes, going to start a new game.
Okay.
So
Move the mouse.
timer is going to start in 3, 2, 1, go. All right.
Okay, so this is I Am Setsuna, indie game from a company. That
Tokyo RPG Factory.
Tokyo RPG. Thank you. That's why you're on the couch. That. Yeah, start spamming too. So we're doing true co-op.
And we need Ender's name.
I need
right
Ender's
now.
name now.
I'm guessing that's...
Well, he's getting Ender's name. So this is a game very heavily influenced by a couple of older RPGs. Came out about a year ago at this point. And still waiting for a name.
I believe Bad Breaks was ahead at the start.
We have
Is it
Bad
Bad
Breaks
Breaks
at $12 for Ender.
With no spaces.
Correct. Capital B, capital B.
Yeah.
Bad Breaks.
Does
Look
that
right?
look good?
He was an awesome person.
All right.
Indeed.
Confirming.
So Ender is Bad Breaks.
Yes,
for
we
this
want to
game.
use Bad Breaks.
He is the quote-unquote hero of the story. Though the
Main-
game is not named after him.
Main silent protagonist.
Of course, this game is heavily inspired by Chrono Trigger.
That's gonna...
Don't spam Enter too much.
Yeah, this co-op is going to be interesting.
It's really intriguing. I'm not going to say we haven't done this before with 2 people, but
So, the main thing that we'll be doing in co-op is we will be switching off.
Yeah.
So I'll mostly be playing now. And then we're going to try to split it off into quarters. So I'll take the first quarter.
Yep.
And
and then so he's doing the first and third quarter. I'll do the second and fourth. This is just some tutorial area for the first few minutes here.
And you get to hear the...
We hoped for a crit, but didn't get one.
Crits will make this faster, but you also get to hear the fantastic battle music.
yeah, an interesting note about the music, and you'll probably notice fairly quickly, the music is entirely done in piano, every single track. So it's a really kind of awesome score that we get to see. I love games with good music.
And particularly the battle theme is my favorite. And that doesn't usually happen. But here we get our first Sprite Knight, or whatever you want to actually call it. These are basically abilities. They can be actual attacks like Cyclone here, or they can be passive effects. And you'll see some of those later.
Yeah, so as Freddie mentioned earlier, this game is heavily influenced by some older JRPGs. And you might already be thinking of one in particular with the way the battle system works out. It's very, very reminiscent of Chrono Trigger. And even the first skill we get, the first tech we get, Cyclone, obviously being Chrono's first tech as well.
Indeed.
Hey, what are save points?
They don't exist to anyone but Ender. And Setsuna.
This is true.
We just got a $5 donation from FF11 Shadowlina.
Hello, Lena.
Who is Setsuna? What is Setsuna? I am Setsuna. There's only one answer. I am Gundam. On a serious note, these guys are the heroes of those run. They have consistently been supporting new runners in the game, myself included. So welcoming and nice to just about everyone who has either considered to run or just started. If there could be any more living legends, it would be these 3. Thank you for being so cool and kind. May smooth oil go smoothly. May jagged teeth not leave you jaded. And light bits bless you.
Thank you, Lena.
Thanks, Lena.
Lena is another runner.
Yeah. Lena's pretty much the only other active non-runner not currently, or current active runner not, oh jeez.
It's late.
I forgot about the momentum. So one of the main new mechanics this game that doesn't really show up in the games that this game is influenced by is the momentum mechanic. The momentum mechanic is basically when you are at full active time battle bar or ATB bar, you will get a secondary bar that will build up. That also builds when you are attacked or do damage. or rather take or deal damage. And once it's full, you can fill it up to 3 times and use one of the charges for an additional effect for any skill or even just regular attacks in the game. A lot of them, especially early on, will only add additional damage, but some also add additional effects, and we'll go through those when we get to them. We use a couple on the run.
You'll notice a few choices. If you're paying attention, the dialogue goes quickly, but they don't really change how the game plays out. It's just
Different
different
text.
text.
Yep.
There's some that are, a second or two quicker than the others.
Yep, and since this game is on PC, we have the choice to use either controller or keyboard. We'll be trading off the controller and keyboard when we trade off at our few different points in the game, like we said. But we do, both of us during actual runs of the game, will use both the controller and the keyboard to skip text, because using one or the other doesn't really affect the thing or make the controller stop working. So you can safely spam as many buttons as we want while skipping text. It makes it go much faster. So this is one of 2-minute or so long cutscenes in the game.
Yeah. If we wanted to, and we're already gotten tired after 5 minutes, we could take a little break here. But
Yeah, this is one of
It's a nice stretch break.
2 breaks in the game.
yeah,
The second is several hours later.
it's not too bad.
It's about a minute later on. And you-
Yeah. That's usually when I actually take a break.
So, in terms of the incentive for what game we are currently playing, so there is a naming incentive for Setsuna, and this game, of course, is called I Am Setsuna. So whatever name Setsuna ends up with, we will be referring to the game as I Am whatever ends up bidding. At this point,
Probably the law.
it's probably the law, unless someone wants to.
Thing really changes soon.
You gotta maybe.
You gotta put down some money.
Quickly.
We're really quickly.
We'll be cutting it off soon.
Do you want to fight the law and win?
The law always wins.
All right. So in terms of story, what we may have missed, Endir is Bad Breaks is a kind of a sword for hire. He just kind of does whatever jobs people decide to give him. And someone approached him and said, "Hey, I've got a job for you. I want you to kill this girl in this village.
This 18-year-old girl.
This 18-year-old girl." And we'll find out who that is pretty shortly.
Probably want to cut that off pretty quickly, like as soon as we enter the forest, probably.
Or I was going to do it
Probably.
right when we left here, yeah.
Yeah.
One of the two.
Oh, right, this house thing.
Yes.
So just some.
Safety. They're Athenian waters, but they're really Phoenix Downs.
Yeah. This game's version of Phoenix Downs, so
And
one use survival.
earlier I picked up some fog stones, which are
Yes.
essentially smoke bombs.
Yes.
Let us run away. You'll be seeing a lot of that.
Oh, yeah.
So I think now's a pretty good time to cut off the Setsuna
Yep.
naming incentive, and we'll get to naming her in just about a minute here.
Dodging
Please,
things
please.
can be a little difficult sometimes. It can be interesting, the hitboxes.
Oh.
Oh, really? A crit? That
Normally we
misses.
wouldn't be fighting this, but
I actually do like to fight this in my runs. So there are a few drops that we're going to be needing from this guy. And to get into how drops work, every monster will have a normal and a rare drop, which work as you might expect. Ooh.
there we
Ooh.
go.
Ooh, rare
Oh, don't
drop.
worry about that.
And you guys were
So,
saying you shouldn't fight?
There's a couple rare drops in this game that we have to get. I guess I should start from the beginning on this one. The way skills are acquired in this game, you have to sell items dropped from monsters to a certain person called the Magic Consortium. And
If we
If
get
you have to
sets in his
We'll
name.
have
There-
a second.
a few skills, yeah, we're about to name Setsuna here during this cutscene.
Sure, just do a quick refresh.
But
I think we know what it is.
yeah. But anyway, so skills are made. Yeah, come on. Sorry, now I'm paying attention to this because there's a certain place we need to stop.
Yeah,
swinging.
you can stop and I'll just do it.
Yeah, I know,
As
I know the play.
expected, Setsuna will be the law.
Law, all caps.
All caps.
Space.
One
Your
with
turn.
a space.
Roger.
So she will introduce herself. I am. That's all.
No, no. There we go.
I am the law.
There we go.
She is the law.
So we are no longer playing I Am Setsuna. We now are playing I Am the Law. I've never played I Am the Law before.
I've heard it's a good game, really. We're just going to blind run this. It'll be great. Anyway, so monsters drop materials that you can sell, and certain materials are required for certain skills. There are a couple important skills later in the game that require a couple rare drops.
You actually did it.
And the first one actually is pretty early in, like in about 15 minutes, we'll need an item that boosts our attack damage, or a skill. And, oh yes, we need to name Eterna here in a second. And we need a rare from that first mob that we killed.
So, in terms of naming incentives, we just decided to go with naming the first two. There will be a total of, throughout the course of the run, 7. We'll just have fun with the 5 that you guys don't get to name.
And we do only use
We'll take good
about
suggestions.
5. We only use 5 of the characters.
Really, we only use 4. We use the 5th one for me.
Yeah.
Less than 10
Yeah.
minutes. But yeah, as Freddeh was saying about the drops, we need particular items to sell to a guy so we can trade him sprite nets, which allow us to get new techs. And there's 4 places in the run where we need one of the drops that we happen to need happens to be a rare drop. So
The law is here to help.
Yes, there's a rare drop called Smooth Oil.
that luckily we got on the first Walloompa kill, those walrus type enemies, which is at least if you're going for a PB or a really good time, it's a common reset point just to, at the start of the run, try to get your smooth oily as quickly as possible.
Yep, we did have, there is a backup spot you can do for something like, a marathon or something, and I'll point it out as we go past, but we don't need to worry about that.
And going back to the drop system, rare drops will preclude normal drops and vice versa, but you also have momentum kills, overkills, and
Exact kills, as you just see here.
exact kills, and also elemental kills.
And there's 5 elements in this game.
And there's a different drop for each kind of kill,
Yes.
for most monsters.
So a lot of the run is just making sure it's almost like a checklist of, I want to make sure to get all the drops I need to. So for the Walloompas, those walrus enemies, I need a rare drop. I need an exact kill, and I need a momentum kill. I have all 3 now, which is nice to be done with so quickly. Technically, I actually need exact kills on these guys, which tend to be really easy to do.
Not always.
Not
you
always,
can attest.
as I have found out the hard way.
And you actually do need the exact kills, or your run is dead.
It would be pretty bad.
Usually you just incidentally get them like that. He wasn't really specifically
Yeah.
trying for it.
Yeah, we got the exact kills from the penguins from the second fight in the game, that cycling tutorial fight, which is usually what happens, but occasionally things can go very wrong and you don't
And
get
you'll
the
see him going across and around. You can sort of preemptive encounters, and that means you start out with full ATB and a momentum charge.
Yep. Also a very useful thing. Interesting thing about coming up against fights as well is one monster can see you, but you can run into the back of a second monster in the same pack and it'll still count as a back attack.
Yeah, the way when monsters see you, it's kind of a little odd because it's not like they see you and start chasing you down. They tend to stop in their tracks and just see you, and if you happen to run into them, then you won't get into even if you approach that particular monster from behind, it won't be surprised. But as Freddeh mentioned, if you pick another monster in the same pack and approach it from behind, and as long as it didn't see you, you'll still get the preemptive.
What are you talking about? The law.
The law has joined your party. Oh, thank you.
Hey, now that we have the law on our side, nothing could go wrong. Especially
Well,
against this bird.
It's not just the law, it's the law.
Ooh,
I mentioned birds are jerks.
yeah, birds are
Yeah.
jerks.
This is one spot where you can actually die if you're not doing safe strats.
Yeah, so I'll make sure to do safe strats since. Oh, see that's.
I said only hit Eterna.
Yeah, no, you're fine.
Usually you just kind of go ham and use X strikes and attack. X strike is the first dual tech you can get. So there are dual and triple techs, very similar to the aforementioned Chrono Trigger. And each of those also has this different momentum. We'll be seeing a lot of X strike throughout this run because it's pretty easy to get.
Okay. You're kind of lucky there.
It's okay if the law dies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's probably actually faster too, honestly.
I would be slightly worried about
Yeah.
get back of the law.
Yeah, we'll be doing a lot of X strike because it's a very easily accessible dual tech for this run that does a pretty solid amount of damage to bosses.
Don't worry, I'm not going to die here. Just gonna keep it low.
So we have dual strike. X strike is going to be the source of our damage for a very large portion of this game. And an interesting quirk about this battle system compared to Chrono Trigger is that it actually matters who initiates the dual tech in terms of damage calculations.
So we'll be dumping a lot of our stats onto Endir, and therefore we really want to make sure once we do that, or sorry, not Endir, Bad Breaks.
Yeah.
We want to make sure Bad Breaks is initiating everything for us, with no exceptions. I'm trying to think of an exception, and I
Yep.
can't.
Nope.
It's definitely something we can and do abuse quite often by having Endur.
Bad Breaks
Bad
is
Breaks.
very much our carry throughout the entire run.
Thank you, Bad Breaks.
And thankfully, all the skills that we use, that we would want to use, we can use with Bad Breaks.
So we do have $20 from Steven0784. The music in this game is amazing. It's one of the most underrated games ever. So glad for the run. And we also have $5 from Moharter Benjamin. Kyo's Little Monster. I woke up super early to see this run, and I won't be sleeping until I arrive at RPG Limit Break tomorrow. Best of luck to Freddie and Takaze. All hail Demon Chocobo. Happy birthday, Solomon. Donation goes towards host trips.
We have a couple nights for that. Leave that one be for now. We have the law to worry about.
Thank you, Kios. It'll be nice
Thank you.
seeing you.
Thank you, both of you. Excited for this run as well. And
That is very nice.
It's interesting because the law invites Bad Breaks to escort her to this place where she has a sort of emotional moment. And I wonder what she finds so endearing about him.
Oh boy. It begins.
Hmm?
The puns.
sorry, I blocked that one out.
Tell me, Bad Breaks. How?
He has a lot of bad breaks, so probably a while.
The law is questioning Bad Breaks. Somehow I don't...
Triple text skipping thing. Goes really
By
fast.
using space. Oh boy.
I think it goes even faster than one person doing two.
One thing that's nice about this game and the level design is that they usually put shortcuts on the way out.
Yes.
There's a lot of backtracking, and quite a few places they do give you
Yeah.
shortcuts.
Most of the places with heavy amounts of backtracking do give you the short.
So Bad Breaks, being the sword for hire, he comes to the village to kill the law, but you can't kill the law. So he decides instead to help out the law, and so the law is designated as a sacrifice to hold the tide against like this kind of wave of monsters that like every so many years, like the number of monsters will increase.
Yeah, it's
And
every 20 years they have to send a sacrifice.
like all the sacrifices come from this village. So it's her turn. She needs protection. So the law gets some help from Bad Breaks and the doctor, and maybe a few other people who will join our party later on.
Wait, you're saying that he couldn't kill the law? That's a bad break.
I have to do this for another 3.5.
Man, we still.
All right, so the best mode of travel in any RPG, of course, is getting on a boat. Nothing bad ever happens if you get on a boat. in
A
an
free
RPG.
boat, nonetheless.
Yeah, we don't have to
Yeah.
pay for it. It goes to exactly where we want to go
Every time.
every time, and it works out.
So we have begun our journey officially now, after getting Chief. 'Cause apparently that little town had a lot of money stored away.
Yeah, you the game gives you a lot of resources right at the get-go. You got 5,000. Bad Breaks was given 5,000 at the start, and then the Law was given another 5,000. But we'll go through money pretty quickly in a little bit here.
Also, predictably, the boat's under attack.
Yeah, who would have thought?
Who would have thunk it?
Oh, there's another type of kill that we'll be seeing here, and that's a link kill. That's using a dual or triple tech.
On one of the, we'll need 2 link kills on these Scullions.
Yep, we'll be getting them in the next few fights.
And another thing about level ups in this game, they MP, so tent is often. There are no ins in this game, just using tents at save points or the overworld.
I'm trying to do here is just get some AoE damage off.
Small AoE that if they're close enough, you can hit them both. Doesn't happen all the time, but
Okay, well unfortunately these guys aren't close enough. Ideally I would have them close enough so I can get both the link kills from a single X-Strike.
Yep.
But RNG is not in my favor. So I'll just get the link kill on one, and then normally kill off the second one. But I do want to save up some of my MP for definitely not a boss fight. That definitely is not coming up in a second.
nope, not at all. The guy I was talking about earlier.
Sort of starts to explain what
Starts.
he is.
Watch out.
And then the Loch Ness Monster comes.
Name of this little guy is not Leviathan. It's
We didn't have Tree Fitty for him, so. Ooh. Double crit.
I'll play it just because of the crit. Let's go here. I'll do 1 extra.
Usually do 2 momentums in the strat. But it works either way.
You're not really without the boss getting.
In the runs, this fight tends to look pretty close. Like the Law will die, and Eternal, or sorry, the Doctor will get really close to dying, but you generally pull through.
And our healing items, I don't think we actually. Do we start out with some
Yeah, they
potions?
give you a stack of 10 potions and some tents.
But they're pretty limited throughout the course of the run, since we mostly rely on for about the second. You'll see why we don't need healing items as much.
Sometimes I'll deliberately be waiting a little bit. This fight is
It's a
taking
little bit faster to wait usually.
And those are those snowflakes next to the
the Law.
character.
Law has not won this day. There we go.
And even though we're successful,
one.
we still lose our boat because having a boat would just be too convenient.
Succeeded to almost drive it
sense that even dead
There's
characters
nothing
get EXP.
Yeah,
Yep.
people will wake up before XP is handed out.
There's fortunately not a mechanic to worry about in this game. There's quite a few points where people die near the end of fights.
So from here on out, fill out this next section just because I guess we're starving and we'll eat just about anything.
Okay, so about those exact kills. We're hoping for exact kills. It's guaranteed if you don't crit on this, which you didn't, thank goodness. But we need a total of 3 items from the white flappers here. And fortunately there are 3 fights with a white flapper in it. And we have it kind of routed out to get bad things don't happen.
Advantageous in this game
Crits are not useful.
in certain places.
Yeah, anytime you're trying to go for an exact kill, you want, like, damage tends to be pretty consistent. Except exact kill. No, he saw me, so. So here I'm gonna go for this. So a momentum cyclone and then a non-momentum attack with the law. So there's some of us who like to get the hexagonal pendants a little. It's a little bit faster to get it later on because I really right now only need 1. Later on in the run, you will need another 2. I just like having it earlier, as I'll be able. Freddeh would be able to, and that's just kind of my preference. Even though I think Freddeh's probably a little bit faster.
It's always nice
It
to...
just lets me... It avoids things like missing and critting. As long as he doesn't do what he did.
The
and then
birds
I
can
can actually
heal.
skip that second fight completely if I do it this way. So
It does
saves a bit of
require
time.
2 extra menus, but they're pretty quick in this game.
Get another link kill on these guys. So I'm waiting for bad breaks here.
2 more. Why not? Okay, so should be good on those drops.
Don't forget the square onion.
Thank you for
Yeah.
reminding me.
There are items on the overworld. This one is particularly hard to see.
Yep, need a combination of 4 items to get a consumable food buff type item. Grouped in similar areas, but they can be hard to see. Just little shiny things on the ground.
They're easy to forget sometimes.
Yeah, especially without notes.
Once you get all the ingredients and talk to the right person, then you can just buy them from chefs. You don't need to continue to get ingredients the entire time.
Thank goodness.
Yes.
So what are we gonna do about our friend here?
It's a great guy.
He's a great guy.
He can't kill a penguin though. Penguins are pretty weak.
With all this ice, you'd think it might be a cool penguin.
Didn't do anything.
So we have this guy who looks a little familiar. He's a guy who really only has 1 eye. He has a big sword.
I'm the
law.
I am the law.
Definitely not a character from Final Fantasy X.
No, no. I think I know who you're talking about though. Yep. I just like that name. It's a good name. Okay.
Green eye.
And he's green, so.
It's really not far off.
And by green-
It takes its inspiration from
a
other
lot
games.
of things. Yeah. There's
Definitely, yeah.
the one thing that is enjoyable playing this casually is definitely in a few places they're not shy about references, and there's plenty of references to a lot of older,
Yes.
specifically SNES JRPGs.
Yes.
Yeah, so we'll be making a return trip to this zone a bit later, so we're going to take the time now to
pick up
grab
some
a couple items we need for food, and then
set up
lower a
path,
bridge
Yeah.
that we'll need to travel through there. We can come back and go through it later this way, but we want to get the food rolling first, and
We're also going to pick up a weapon for
Yep.
the law.
also pick up a nice weapon. I don't think...
Nope.
Yeah.
There is no fleeing in this game. You can't just run away. You have to use a consumable item.
Or
And
kill it.
it's smoke bombs. I mean,
Fog stones. Okay.
Fortunately, they're relatively quick to use.
yes. And you're gonna have to use
not
another
gonna
one.
work.
It's
Yeah.
not gonna work.
Usually you use at least 2 in this zone. These are fairly tight spaces. Some
Until about
area-
an hour and a half in, our fog stones are fairly limited.
Getting these 2. Oh, you can actually... Oh,
Yeah.
I never knew you could go that way.
It's probably slower, so it's a good thing you didn't know about it.
So this is the fight. Light bit.
Can't do anything about it now.
So ideally, we want to kill an owl with lightning skills, but right now the only way we could do that is with Setsuna's auto attack. Owls will flee very quickly. They're
Yeah.
sort of slime enemies. Like
There's 2 drops you need from them, and they're kind of weird because they're not normal encounters. They will randomly show up and take the place of another monster.
Don't forget the far item here.
Cabbage.
January cabbage
So
in May.
At some point during the run, I need to at least kill one of them with a lightning-based skill.
For 2 different items, actually.
2 different items.
Yes,
The
if
other
we
one
get
is-
the rare drop, we'll have to kill 2 of them.
Someone
Yeah.
will need to make sure to keep track of what drops we're getting.
Yeah.
So, Magic Consortium gun. We're going to start selling most of our items. I think just for consistency's sake, I'll do this.
Yeah. No, I'm not going to do anything for that.
Uh,
Rest of them, yeah, sure. But
So you'll see white items here and green items. I want to be very careful not to sell anything green.
Green items are the food items, and the white items are the drops from monsters. Just picking up lightning, slow, and physical pride.
So,
Physical
yeah.
pride is just like a flat-out attack bonus, and it is pretty necessary. I think in theory you probably could complete the run, but it would be a
You'd lose-
lot slower.
You'd lose quite a bit of time by
Yeah.
not picking it up. And that's why we needed the smooth oil. Smooth oil, and I think it's I'm trying to remember the other 2 things we need for it, but mostly the smooth oil.
Yeah, I can't remember. The other stuff we get typically incidentally.
Gonna buy some more fog stones because we're gonna be doing lots of running away. And stack of tents.
Yep.
Tents do what you would expect. Gonna pick up 1 more food off the ground because
hopefully without talking to that guy. Well, we tried.
It's a good thing that that doesn't soft lock.
yeah, there's a weird soft lock sometimes that can happen if you
Open a chest and then
immediately
talk.
talk. I haven't gotten it before. I'm convinced it doesn't exist.
Yep, so we bought 2 skills, 1 each for Setsuna and Eterna, which is the other main skills we'll be using for a while. I
And
think
then
you're good.
physical pride is an equipable passive.
Because Ender leveled from that Fengi fight for some reason. But yeah, physical pride is a passive damage buff that we definitely need, as we were talking about earlier.
And again, since dual and triple attacks, the damage is calculated by whoever starts them. We're putting everything on Ender.
Yep, Ender
Bad
will be
bricks.
getting the most of the stuff we'll be getting are for just Ender. Bad bricks. I'll remember it by the time the game ends, maybe.
I won't.
I tried to put the stop, catch it before you said it, but I had some bad breaks.
At some point, I'm gonna pay the tech guys to just mute this guy.
So right now we're at some, I guess a garrison is a good word for it, of, just some people that are not very good at being a garrison outside of the leader.
This is kind of a unique fight, and I kind of like it. But
Yeah.
it shows one thing that we don't ever really get to see.
I like this strategy, even though I think it's technically slower than.
No, this is fast.
So by using Cyclone has a knockback property. I can group the top 2 guys together, and so Charge and Lightning have a very small AoE attached to them. Just AoE the 2 guys down. And then there's just 1 guy left. I should kill him before he gets another turn off. Bad breaks for the kill. Good job, Bad breaks. It's the only time we actually will use Cyclone's knockback effect to do anything useful for the purposes of the speedrun, unfortunately. I think there's going to be a little lull in terms of what we'll need to talk about.
So you might need to ether Ender if you don't level off of that first fight. And then, yeah, go ahead and do donations if you have any.
Doesn't look like we have any donations in right now, but if you're just joining us, this is RPGLB2017. Here in Salt Lake City, Utah, we're raising money for NAMI, which is the National Alliance on Mental Illness. This month is Mental Health Month in May here. Join the conversation on Twitter by using the hashtag Mental Health Month or hashtag StigmaFree.
So let's. There's going to be 2 more incentives that we have over the course of the run, and both of them are fairly far in. So we have renaming Luminaire, kind of one of the quintessential skills from Chrono Trigger. You're welcome to name it to whatever you'd like. I think last I checked, it was Burning Finger was in the lead, and I think we have something special if Burning Finger does manage to take it. I personally like Shining Finger as renaming Luminaire, so maybe we can see Shining Finger.
If you do or don't want our hands to glow red, vote with your money.
And then there's also Final Form Samsara, which is basically we can kind of dictate how easy or hard the final boss fight is going to be. And so if that incentive is met, we're going to be doing the hardest version of it. And by we, I mean Freddeh will be doing it, since that'll be his portion of the run. And it could be really, really tricky to do that fight because sometimes he just decides to one-shot you. So if you want to put, I would say us through a little bit of stress, but again, it's just going to be Freddeh through a little bit of stress. I would recommend donating for that.
Revenge for the puns.
Yeah, no changes on those donations. Burning Finger at $55, Taiho at $1, and Jeff at $1 for the Luminar skill. And we have $55.16 out of 500 for the Final Form Samsara.
Let's see Shining Finger beat out Burning Finger. Come on, guys. Would have
Well, someone's got to start it, right?
So we got to truncate the name a little bit, but I'm sure you guys can make it work.
Also, you really do want to see this Final Form boss.
It can be.
It's an interesting fight.
It's an interesting fight, and it probably won't go in our favor. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see.
We saw Green Oron just absolutely destroying some of the monsters. Ooh.
Okay.
It doesn't matter what color. Oh.
Okay. So they had those birds that I'm trying to get that light kill on that we mentioned earlier. They have a tendency to immediately run away.
Actually, you should kill that fight.
Well, I run away.
Okay.
Okay.
Minor route differences. Okay. Interesting.
Look at this guy, judging me with every move. Soon it will be my turn.
It's true.
Green Oron.
What are you doing over here? So, Aron has a little, Green Aron has a little bit of a past, much like Aron does. He was part of the previous Sacrifices journey, and he initially said it was a success, but in fact he was lying. It was actually a failure. He did not bring the sacrifice to where she needed to be, so he's having a lot of internal guilt for that.
And he initially does not want to join with the law because
whoa, that's a spoiler, man. Calm
it is
down.
It is the law's story now.
So, Reaper here, we'll be fighting him a few times.
He's a recurring character.
And you'll start to see the basis of our strategy. Slow is really powerful.
Much like Chrono Trigger, haste and slow seem to be really good. And with that physical pride on pad breaks now, I'm going to be doing a lot of damage with X-Strike.
Nice move. Yep, X-Strike with with a better weapon. The combination of the two gets your damage up decently well. And actually even Lightning pulls decent weight here, especially when it crits. So the upgraded weapon's definitely helping, and he can definitely kill you pretty fast if you don't kill him fast. by doing things like this.
As you can see, the law is getting a little dangerous. But it's okay. I believe
should
in the
be
law
fine.
here.
Ooh.
A crit to a miss.
Getting a bit lucky with the attack spread here.
Oh, there goes.
When you do get knocked unconscious, you do lose any momentum
go.
charges you had.
Little rough fight, but we managed to get through it. The law has still won.
The law has performed her duty as sacrifice.
So this guy with the scythe, just call him Reaper because that's what they call him. He, for whatever reason, wants to kill the law. It doesn't say why, but he just wants to stop the sacrifice from completing her duties. Every time I see the law on this
Thank you, Green Orange.
And so again, he doesn't want to join the party. He's feeling a lot of guilt about.
the previous sacrifice failing. Or rather, he
Yes.
failed the previous sacrifice. And the doctor is surprised that we're so helpful. Bad Breaks is so helpful because initially, if you remember, Bad Breaks was supposed to kill the law, but he's easily convinced by the law's charming looks.
The law finds a way.
Oh boy.
Always finds a way.
So the first time I went to Pyrrhica, I got the recipe for getting a recipe for some stew. And in terms of the food that we'll be using for the run, that will be it.
Yep.
There's plenty of other food, but
One
these-
increases HP, the other increases attack.
Right. And we'll be using both quite heavily. Generally, in the first half of the run, it's going to be a lot of attacking, the hail bean stew, which is the attack increasing food. And it's generally in the second half of the run, we're mostly going to be using the Pyrrhica cobbler salad, which will increase our HP. And it only lasts for one single fight, so we just make sure to eat some food before boss, make sure we're well fed.
There are lots of foods. Some of them have kind of interesting effects, but they're just not worth going out of your way to get them when this is basically on the way through, and we get them really early.
Yep. You also get a free food from each of them when you turn it in, so
That's true.
So
we'll be using one of them right away here.
So I normally, once you pick up a recipe, and you'll have to talk to a chef, you turn in the recipes, and then you can start just buying from them from him. But we'll do that in a little bit once we actually need to buy some stuff. And foods are actually a little expensive, so in a few parts in the run, we're pretty tight on money. So it's kind of very nice that there's 10,000 gold right at the start, because we'll definitely need it.
Yeah, the game tries to make you think you're going to have Freddeh come with you to help go through, but we never named her, so obviously she's not coming. Instead, we get Green Aran. Green Aran really wanted to help the law after seeing how much we were willing to help defend the Reaper.
Green Oran becomes really useful in a little bit,
In a little bit. We'll
but he's not coming in the party just yet.
there's a particular...
There's another one.
Let's go for
Round
this.
2.
One thing I like to do is to nice.
There we go. So I'm gonna take it, make sure, look at the drops. I should get a white stone and a large teardrop. It gave me the rare drop, really.
Well, at least you don't have to like kill. That
Yeah, you
next
can just
one.
cyclone the next one.
But one
Don't
thing
forget
I like to
provoke.
do
Good
is we have a nice Franker face emote for representing owls. I like to keep track of how many owls we encounter in a run.
I don't
Well,
think I
that's
have
2
that.
already.
Yeah.
We have $10 from Taurus. Says, "Let's go, Shining Finger."
There we go.
And it begins.
It starts.
My love, my hatred, my sorrow. Okay, well, can't get too ahead of myself.
Yeah, giving it away.
So here, I'm going to use that hail beans too. I'm also going to make sure to use it.
Yep. For most fights, there's a save point, and we'll be using both a food and then a tent. Or
It's
later,
important to use the
better
food
tent.
first, particularly if you're using the HP food, because it will not like scale up.
Yeah, it'll increase your the pure cobbler salad will increase your max HP,
But not your
then your
current.
current HP will remain the same.
Yeah.
So you want to make sure to heal.
But you're still hungry.
Also, tenting leaves you, makes you leave the menu, so
This fight's going to be
best
pretty
to do it
simple.
now.
Gonna be doing mostly the same shots. We'll be doing slightly different things because, as you notice, the law is doing a little bit less damage on that lightning. So I'm gonna try to get just more damage out of my extra. I want to get more of that off.
But this two will be giving us more damage in general.
Here I'm actually gonna throw an ether on the doctor. Gonna wait for some momentum here.
And you can see just how much that extra hit does.
It's melee damage, but he hasn't really done much, so it should be fine.
The only thing we kind of have to worry about in this fight is once he starts getting low, he'll have a chance of doing a move where he'll go into his shell, and it just delays the fight because he takes much less damage in his
And
shell.
even though the law wasn't doing a whole lot of damage, it adds up over the fight.
And the law did finish it off for us, as expected.
The law. Law demands justice.
The law won.
Boy, this is what you guys got.
Donated for this.
Yeah,
And
there's a lot
And
for
we
this.
appreciate it.
Yes. Law demands justice.
So this is where we were trying to go with the boat. So Flonia, Citadel, they have airships here, or airship.
An airship.
An airship. So obviously, where our objective is to get to the last lands, and of course, just find
Airships
a place
are
with an
fast.
airship.
Yep.
And it's
an
gonna be
RPG.
easy, right?
Of course we get an airship.
Yeah, we'll get it right away, and we'll get to the end of the game. And I don't know why we gave this
Should be-
game 4-hour estimate. This should
It's really useful, really. Like it's.
it's gonna go so
It's a
quickly.
free airship even.
Well, I mean, that's all I have to do after you get the airship, but it's nice that this game gives you an early airship, so you can explore all of the snow.
Definitely.
Everything free
I
is
don't
always
think they're
good in RPGs.
I don't think they've caught on yet.
Yeah, no, they totally. As long as we can for these fights.
So
Also, we need time kills, but yeah.
there's I'm gonna pick up something. I mean, it's an RPG. I'm robbing old men's houses. Bad breaks.
The
You're
usual.
A lovely person who has no consideration over other people's possession. So the Aqua Heart is a talisman, and generally, you in a casual playthrough, you'd probably see a lot of them. In this, you're only gonna see Aqua Heart. It'll do two things for us. I guess technically three. It'll give us some extra sprite knit slots because, as you saw at the beginning, there's only so many sprite knits that we can have equipped, so it gives Endir a little bit more. Nice, the Doctor being invisible. Little glitch there. The Aqua Heart has a unique property of just letting us see monsters' HP, which we don't really need, but it's kind of helpful. And then it has this property of fluxation. And I don't know if one of you wants to go into that now, or if we see it later, then we'll talk about it.
Well, I'll just go over it really quick right now. Basically, all the talisman has a special effect that it can flux on certain skills. In this case, it's combo power, which increases dual and triple attacks.
So what's a flux?
In each fight, if you use if you use an ability while you have that talisman equipped, it has a chance to have that flux applied to it. It's a fairly small chance, but if we can get it on Cyclone, which is what we really want, it'll add a not insignificant portion of damage. to the
So
text that we use.
The Aqua Heart happens. Multiple fluxations on a single sprite net. Anytime I use damage, there's plenty of other talismans that add different fluxations. We just particularly use this one because for the purposes, it's free, it's fast, and it's pretty darn useful.
Gotta equip the talisman.
And gotta equip the talisman. Not that I really need it yet, but
Yeah, you could get a random cyclone. Who knows?
I could. We'll see.
It's very random, unfortunately. Sometimes you'll end the run with like 5 fluxes on cyclone. Other times 1 or 2.
Or,
can
you know,
have
9.
Sometimes none.
You can
very
have
occasionally.
a maximum of.
I would just do this fight for the debuff heal.
Yeah.
Hopefully they don't split up. Yeah, you're good then.
So
need to get
in
it.
this fight, I want to get. I need some debuff kills. I need some exact kills. I need some momentum kills, and I need some time kills. I got all of them there. I also need an overkill at some point on these muffies.
Yeah.
Can take care of that later.
We'll do that in a little bit here.
And I think I need a common drop from them too.
But that's pretty easy to get.
Beneficial to us that we just got in a single fight.
A lot of the stuff we just tend to get incidentally, particularly like common drops and stuff.
So. Little kid, blonde hair, glasses. I wonder what we could name him. Okay, go for it. Of course. Sorry, Jeff.
It hasn't been getting enough representation yet. We gotta give it a little bit more love.
And so the end destination for the sacrifice is the Last Lands. Then we meet this kid who's being harassed by penguins, who also wants to go to the Last Lands.
So, of course, we're just like, hey, little kids shouldn't be wandering around. Join our party. Trust us.
What's it with penguins though? Green Oran was getting annoyed by penguins too.
Not even like hard penguins, just normal pingies,
just
which are
normal.
literally the east. That's not gonna work.
No. I
That
almost
bird.
always get down there.
That bird. I didn't see the bird till the end there. So there's a little bit of RNG in terms of where monster placements are. So sometimes you can get really lucky and just go straight through monster path. Great. Or sometimes you're just bad and run into them when you could have avoided them.
Usually not that.
Usually not.
And here is a village called Tenderville. This is where the Flonia Citadel sends sick people. It's basically
people, refugees. They're very helpful. They're they don't have space in Flonia Citadel, but the people can come here and they'll take care of them. I can sell everything now. Oh, so fast, so fast.
And I can help. True co-op.
I want to buy a shock there, and I'm going to be getting a new dual tech here in a little bit, combining shock and the previous provoke I picked up to make something called Blowbeat. And Blowbeat's pretty good. I'm not going to spoil it. Right.
You'll see it shortly.
you won't see the true benefit until about
There's a lot of
we got
benefits.
like 20 minutes ish.
It does a lot.
Talking about
Yeah.
really.
So we talked to this old man. So we Kosh. We need him for the airship. And then once we find him, we can use the airship, and we'll go right to the end of the game. And I mean, this isn't going to take 4 hours.
Picking up all the food.
It was shiny. I couldn't help myself.
You couldn't even see it? It was behind a building?
I saw it.
Okay.
I saw it.
I'll trust you on that one. I didn't see it. So we need Green Arn in the party here. We don't need the law anymore. The law's going to take a bit of a seat for a while here.
Quite a while, actually.
Yeah, quite a long while, actually.
The law will sit back.
Did you equip Shock?
Yeah.
Okay. I missed it.
So I'm going to get into an encounter here. I mentioned I need an overkill on one of those muffies. I'm going to use one of these fights to do it. Make sure they don't see me. Get preemptive strike. That's actually
That was actually a weak one. They were not grouped at all.
So it was a little underwhelming, but the way Blowbeat works is, as you notice, it happens to hit everything on the screen. but it also has another property to it, where it will, if things happen to be close to each other, it will have a small AoE around each enemy, and if there's something standing close to another enemy, it will do extra damage. So you have two things standing next to each other, they'll each take 2 hits, because they get the initial hit, and then they each are standing next to each other, so and there's a lot of fights where we abuse that property of Blow Beat to just deal a bunch of damage, and that second property is dealing full damage. So we just double close to each other. 3 things are standing close to each other, triple damage. 4 things, quadruple damage, and then you another layer of damage.
That's not all that Blobeat does.
That's not it.
Well, wait,
not
there's
all.
more.
Yeah, it also does confusion, stun.
Adds a
passive in this run, so.
Effects aren't 100%, but when you combine them with slow, if status effects happens,
it could be pretty good.
that was interesting.
Yeah, that's the thing that happens when
yeah,
you
when
do
you
that
use
for tenting.
if you use a tent and then immediately go into another place, you get a weird graphical. Now you say that.
I know.
Oh, geez, you
At
guys
least
are
you
supposed to
did it
help me with
after.
this.
Wait, where are you? Oh, right.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
have to
with
talk to
Akash.
Akash, and I have to buy some food.
Yes,
These
very
guys are
important.
supposed to help me out in my run.
I would have noticed about at the same time.
To the chef, I can start buying food. I'm going to buy 2 hail bean stews. Again, those are the physical attack increasing ones. I'm going to use it on the next 2 bosses. And here is Akash, and he's the shipwright. And the king needs Akash to operate the airship. So now that we found Akash, and we convince him that, hey, we're on a journey to... technically not so easily convinced. We give him the old man's letter. Then he's convinced.
Yep.
Surprise.
Turns
the
out-
old man. Who is he?
He's old. He might have been the king once, but now he's just an old man.
Now he's just an old man.
We've got $3 from Shadowlina. You guys didn't know penguins are the true all trolls. That is all.
Wow.
Well,
We
I
already
mean,
got enough. Kill those bushy tails?
Yeah.
Yes,
They were?
with
Okay.
Blobeat.
I didn't actually notice.
Momentum blow beat.
None of them were close enough. I wasn't sure if a momentum kills them outright.
Momentum blow beat will still do it. If you don't momentum, then definitely not.
Right.
Hey, we found your shipwright. Give us your airship. Let us use your airship. Help us out, man. We're going to save the world.
Apparently we're meddling, though.
Yeah.
Even though he asked
your
us
plan.
to do this.
Are you?
What's
He
this thing
is-
again?
It's pretty, because he double crosses us, it's kind of fitting that he's taking the law away from us.
Yep. And
Yeah, we're also having a bit of a cure napping.
Who's this cure guy? I don't know Jeff.
Jeff's just here. Don't worry about it.
Try to pay attention to the placement of the enemies in the next few fights. These guys are... it's not bad bricks. So I'll get the multiple hits on Blowbeat here. Each of them will get hit twice.
You can see the status effects going off there.
And then pay attention in the next fight how far away things are. So unfortunately, we're not going to get... it's still a lot of... Blowbeat's still really good.
Yep.
It's one of the few actual full screen skill that we'll actually use in this.
In the run.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So these guys are going to be far enough apart where they're only going to hit once, and unfortunately isn't quite enough damage to kill. Help us out here, and then Bad Breaks will finish this last guy off. And
Speaking of this, look at
that's the downside to
Yep.
Blowbeat is it's total. So
but we leveled up there, and leveling up refreshes HP and MP.
and the game gives us elixirs, and I use tents, and I only take fights that I really need to. So we can get around the super expensive Blue Beat. Gonna be this. The top two have the bouncing effect of a blow beat. Bottom one, is there a miss? Must have been a miss. It can happen.
Yep.
Happens to the best of dual techs.
A mystery.
Else out again. I mean, the old king.
Yeah, so the guard's like, oh, it's the
He's
former
like, oh,
king.
it's-
I guess
oh.
I'll just let you. I
Never
have to
mind
listen
then.
to you.
I respect you a lot.
Could have made those fights a lot shorter.
He's old.
Okay.
Yeah, man. It takes him a long time. He had to walk uphill both ways in the snow. Okay, maybe just in the snow.
Definitely in the snow.
Probably uphill both ways too.
I mean, you have to
actually.
go uphill.
Yeah, there is.
The shortcut's uphill, so yeah. Oh, why are there penguins in here? Why are there penguins everywhere? There's just always penguins.
They're the true. Through the joke from penguins a little bit later.
Still makes for super easy fights. They don't put up any sort of resistance.
Oh,
Start fine. Momentum.
Alright, so we got another boss coming up, so I'm going to eat one of those stews. I'm going to tent, and I'm also going to take a bit of a safety save, just in case some really bad things happen. Yeah, we'll do this one.
there's
Yeah.
one of two people who have actually died to this boss.
It shouldn't happen, but
It shouldn't.
starting now, bosses where they'll have some sort of powering up move when they get to below half HP. This guy will
Ooh.
transform. That's completely fine.
Yeah.
It's a little annoying.
So once he gets to below 50% HP, he'll transform, and then he'll start doing a lot of really scary things.
only
AoE attacks, a lot of damage. So I want to kill him before he actually does anything super scary. 2 extracts should do the trick. As long as both these extracts, I'm gonna be a little scared.
Here's that HP trigger.
Move.
You'll notice also that we didn't cast slow in the beginning. For whatever reason, he's in.
Bosses will have their different resistances to various status effects. So sometimes I will, make sure to slow because it happens to be really good per particular boss. Sometimes I just avoid it because it's too resistant for me to even try. And that fight tends to go well enough that the blow beat and double X most of the time.
Most of the time.
Most of the time. And so I've gotten about an hour in, and I mentioned that we're going to be splitting up into the game pretty much into quarters. So I'm going to do the second boss fight.
Yep, there's another boss fight coming right up here in a second, then we'll switch. And yeah, make sure.
It's important that we equip that weapon from before, even though it's a lower attack power. This boss is resistant to the time element, and it goes very poorly and very long if you have a time weapon equipped on bad breaks.
Are you guys on a boat again? Is this a
This is
smart
the
idea?
airship.
Oh,
This
okay.
is the airship.
It's an
yes.
airboat,
It's an
Yeah, it's just
honorary
a boat.
boat.
Parked in the water.
although it's not
It has a
our
mast, so.
it's not our real dad boat.
Yeah, so let's. I mean, I want this airship.
I really want this airship.
But this king is a little, I guess, cocky, where he thinks
got
he can
this.
operate the airship by himself. The whole point we needed Kosh is that he's the only one that can do so. So the king tries to do it himself, and
And he messed it up.
he's done moved. The thing's gonna blow up. What are you doing, guy? No one even tried to stop it. Oh look, it's our friend, Mr. Reaper.
He looks familiar.
Looks familiar. So the king thinks this guy is going to help him out because the king is kind of a traitor and selling his people to kind of protect Flonia Citadel. And it was going to sell the sacrifice to kind of protect himself. But Reaper just wants to kill the law. So, kind of similar fight. This time I can actually use slow. He tends to work most of the time.
You'll notice it didn't work on the upper target.
You weren't able to slow the upper target?
well,
It's resistant to time element.
I think that Mist Reaper should be fine.
and the whole point of this fight is I actually ignore the Reaper and just kill the device in the back because it's supposed to blow up, and if we don't kill it fast enough, it's gonna blow up and bad things will happen.
City will be destroyed.
And you know, the Reapers come to us in this snowy environment. So I guess you could say the
It's
Reaper
coming.
don't fear the seasons.
It's coming. Not gonna be enough, Bailey. So I'll just have you finish it off with the area.
That's just an attack weapon, probably, yeah.
You get a crit. All right, so that's gonna be part 1. Part 2 by Freddeh. Do a handoff here.
It's a lot smaller than the keyboard.
So again, really all I'm doing here is just going to be advancing the text a little bit. Normally if we do this, you know, I don't keep Freddeh in my house. So I would
not
just be
locked
doing
up in
this
his
all by
basement, no.
myself. Yeah. Or he would do it by himself.
Yep. So usually you have one hand on the keyboard and one on this. This time we get 3 hands, because
This
3 hands are
is-
better than 2.
This is co-op. This is co-op.
The law decided to shield the Jeff from the explosion.
The law is generous. Saving Jeff.
The law likes Jeff. Is saving Jeff actually, you know, true good? Or
You know what?
I think it depends on who you ask.
I am tired of this city, so let's get out of here.
are we not buying a weapon?
Typically do that later.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't ever buy a weapon there.
And we probably don't have the money for it, maybe? There's a weapon that we'll need to
Yeah.
buy eventually. We could buy it now, but we don't need it immediately. But at some point, we'll need to. So, lore-wise, the law protected Jeff. And the explosion was a magical explosion. Magically. So Jeff is going to take... should find a way to heal the law there.
Jeff is what's called a half-blood, which is part monster, part human. When they know about magical things.
They're special. Jeff is special.
Which is also why he was kidnapped.
Okay, you change this before I forget, because
Oh,
otherwise I'm going to
okay.
go crazy. So he
Yeah.
plays cursor on forms of memory or just have it reset every time. I prefer to keep it on preferential. You can do either one. But takaze is used to doing it on reset, so we're probably just going to be switching that back and forth between our...
And remind you.
Thinking it's all wrong.
You can also set it to not to
There's-
remember just what item category you used, but also like a specific item or a specific action. So it's kind of nice to have.
Yeah. So I can just go into fight, spam X or Fodstone and be done usually.
So the way that we split up the run kind of spreads out the love of the RNG. So I got it on the very first try, but Freddeh here is going to have to deal with, in my opinion, the worst RNG in the game. And I think Lena mentioned it earlier. There's going to be 2 rare drops which kind of get called jagged teeth, and it's particularly frustrating because you need 2 rare drops instead of just the other rare drops.
Get more chances at it, but it's a much lower drop rate.
It seems like it. I don't think we actually know what the drop rates are.
No.
If I had to
Yeah.
guess, it's like 1 out of 8, but that's
That's, I don't know. I've gotten 2 from one fight before.
it can happen. It
Yeah.
can happen.
It can
It's just-
happen,
it's just
or you can
probability.
on it, Freddie.
Yeah, don't remind me. That's the wrong one.
It's important to use the time crossed.
Yep. Plus, it just does more. Behind the clouds. Some more penguins.
Puppies, these
Birds
guys
can be jerks, even non-flying birds.
Yeah, they're still birds and they're still jerks.
I mean, they swim. Not these ones.
Okay, land and seabirds.
So, kind of the same idea. Preemptive
Can they
strike. Cross our fingers.
Can they play land blitzball and normal blitzball then?
Teeth. Jagged teeth. Big money. Big money.
One.
One.
Okay, cool. Good start. Good start. I can take that.
Kill from
One of
this
these
ferret
enemies
with a
here.
snowball.
A ferret with a snowball. That's actually what they're called.
It's not what they're called, but I can't think of them as anything but.
They're roly polies. So, can we get really good RNG here? We'll see. Jagged teeth?
Nope.
No.
Nope.
Okay.
I'm still gonna do the next one because I got.
If we get really lucky, and if we don't get the jagged teeth here, then we'll have to just exit out of the zone and reset it to get these guys to spawn again. So it can sometimes be a little frustrating.
Yeah,
Game's not cooperative.
it loses time.
So one left.
Nope.
Got it.
Oh,
it.
you
We
did.
got it.
Yes.
Thank
Nice.
goodness we can just move.
Okay.
On.
You
Did
played-
Nader level up?
You played
No,
that
we
so
didn't.
well,
Okay.
Freddie. I'm really proud of you.
I got all the luck. You know what? I want more money.
Good luck on the run, Freddie and takaze.
Thank you, kid. Appreciate it.
Isn't that
Is indeed the drummer from Sick Bone. I'm killing a little bit of extra stuff here for some money. The next shopping coming up.
the next and only time that we'll be short on money?
Yeah, there'll be a grind
Usually.
session in a little bit. It's pretty short. It should take less than 10 minutes, definitely. And conveniently enough, we'll get a lot of money from that grind session, too.
And this
So-
is introducing a type of monster that's basically monster that may be.
They're called Sprite Knit Eaten monsters, and they're just supposed to be super hard versions that if we tried to fight them now, a bunch of XP.
Yeah, there's a few things that come together.
A few things.
And,
Yeah.
You may guess what it is, but we'll leave it hidden.
So kill them effectively. That you'll see the benefits of that pretty quickly here.
Definitely gonna want you on helping skip because there's a
Yeah.
lot of
Section of the game, not only
Yep.
because that was actually nice for us today,
Yeah.
but this is the little bit of a town, a lot of text. Just okay, go talk to this person, go talk to this person.
It's basically one of two big story dumps.
It's a city of Jeffs. All the
Ci-
Jeffs.
Yeah, so this is Jeff's village. They're special.
Jeffs.
All the Jeffs. Do you think I should get the 8 ether tracks?
I do.
Probably.
I do.
You
I've never had that happen.
I'll use this time to
Yeah, don't soft lock
remind
the game.
people of the bids that are going on right now. First off, we have the big one, final fight with final
Don't
form of
spam it.
Samsara, which $55 out of 500 for the hardest form of the final boss, and that'll be open until the end of this run here. We have the skill name for Luminar. When we
Over an hour.
Okay.
Well
left.
over an hour, yeah.
got some time for that one. Right now, let's see. We have Burning Finger at $55, Shining Finger at $10, and then Taiho at 1 and Jeff
Three,
at
right?
1 for that one.
So
And
just-
you really, really do want to see that final boss.
it's
So we need some help with that. You've got 2.5 hours.
yeah, that'll be literally to the end of the run.
You got a lot of money. Jeez.
So we picked up a few things there. Combat Instinct is another support sprite knit that we'll be throwing on Endear, and it will
Be very careful. Thank you.
add extra damage based on max HP. So higher HP Endear has, higher, like a bigger damage bonus. I want to say it gets pretty close to 50% when he's at full HP.
The things that we absolutely need for the grinding session that we're about to do.
Yep.
And in general, just throughout the whole run, it
Yeah,
will
it
make
saves a
everything
ton of
faster.
time.
Yeah, it's a lot of damage.
That's a lot of damage.
But we need it almost instantly. We cannot do it without it.
Yeah, that's
so.
what the jagged teeth are what got us that the combat instinct. So that's why it's so important to have.
Yep, we also picked up a couple weapons. Most of Ender's weapons, or rather, Ender has of elemental weapons to get certain elements. Light weapon, we picked up one of the weapons just as a light weapon because we need some light kills. Both, well, we could use it for the owl, though we don't need to anymore. And we also need light kills from a enemy later on.
We do still need an owl kill.
Well, we
though.
still need a.
We do still need an hour
large-
kill.
At
yes,
least
yes, I know. You just don't need that to be light.
Yes.
Which means I don't have to waste time changing the weapons.
So Jeff here is trying to cure the law, but he's having a little bit of trouble because he's not that strong. We can't actually use him in our party yet. And he's trying to remember incantation, and Jeff just isn't pulling through.
He just
sure a lot
doesn't
of
have
people-
enough
He's
magic.
not strong enough.
He's out of PP, maybe?
Yeah.
He's always out of PP.
He's always out of PP. Okay, so exposition, go in here, more exposition.
Yeah, they're just going to tell a little bit about the story. Sum it up is basically they're incredibly short-lived people, but they used to in the past be incredibly long-lived and very. I'm getting it backwards. They're normally incredibly short-lived. They can live longer, so they kind of long time birth, so we can actually live a normal life. And we'll see Jeff here get a little frustrated that he's just so weak magically.
He thinks the law is dying.
Well, I mean, she is.
Yep, and they just try to live out their lives peacefully in this village by
And hiding.
Uh-oh. Did you say monsters?
talking about monsters.
As you can tell by the intense battle music, monsters decide to show up, so we have to hide. I have my own theories of it. Hide in a tent, monsters ignore you. Don't know why.
That's how the
Well,
world
the
works.
monsters are basically, they're supposed to be tactics. They don't.
Yeah, they're supposed to be really dumb. My theory is that they're either vampires. So would kind of go with here that they got something that looks like maybe they don't like garlic.
In tents full of food, and the monster's like,
Yeah,
I'm just gonna wander through these tents. Nothing. Fine.
Although, even though the doctor doesn't talk much in this entire segment, it does feel like it takes an eterna.
Can we get some if there's any donations to make it stop?
Yeah, just start hyping anything. It's fine.
Yep. Do stuff again.
Play.
Yay, gameplay.
So the elder, since Jeff failed us once again. The elder's like, okay, I'll get some herbs, and that should cure the law. It'll be fine.
And it worked, interestingly enough.
What happened? The
Better.
monsters set up a trap. The monsters are smart enough. So we have to fight the monsters again.
But first, exposition.
Exposition, yep.
Jeff decides he actually wants to be useful.
Yeah, so this is what I talk about. So Jeff was like, hey, I want to join you guys. I want to help you out, but I'm weak now. I can get my powers back, which incredibly in short life, but he'll take that bullet for us.
But he can do more with it.
He wants to help out the law.
The law does share a tender moment with bad breaks.
Okay, don't forget this menu.
Yeah. So we can do a tent. We can do equipping the fire sword. Oh, it's the Crimson Lotus.
This, and then
Make sure to equip that combat instinct
Actually, no,
because worst fights, not a boss yet.
And this is where all the Half-Blood's magical energy is stored.
So Jeff is going to get his magical power
in a rock.
from like talking at a rock. I don't know. I don't know how he gets his power back.
It's, I guess, technically a crystal surrounded by rock. And apparently,
Yeah, the monsters are interested in the magical energy.
that's you.
There's a few different ways to do this fight.
Of course.
The most frustrating thing is these roly-polies have really good evasion, and then they have a move on top of that. Okay, didn't use
Oh,
it
good,
there.
they didn't use it.
That
Yeah.
increases their evasion.
Let's use another move.
It's basically impossible to hit them if they... I can't remember the name of it, but they get on top and...
Yeah, they'll just get on their snowball.
start...
So I don't have that up anymore. I'm trying to conserve mana here because of...
Yeah, there's 5 fights, I like to do the fights where I just blow beat through everything, and then I'll have to take some time to throw some ethers out because you run out of mana really quickly. You can instead play a little more conservatively, save some of your mana on the first few fights, and then you'll have enough for blow beat.
Did use it with green ore on there.
Looking
Yeah,
at names.
I struggled a bit at first. So we're used to always saying the name.
Actually, if you'll
Getting extra
notice,
exact kills just in case.
another thing you can up there, portrait and stuff is highlighted.
Fortunately, Blaubeat kind of goes through this physical evasion.
Yeah.
Sometimes it
unlucky
does,
having this
sometimes it
happen.
doesn't. There's still a miss there, but since it hits so much, I think I get hit like 5 times on a single guy.
Didn't get a little bit that much.
It's okay, we have ethers. Again, different. Say my way's right.
But I don't usually get those extra 8 ethers, so.
That's the first time I think I've ever seen them do that.
I know. Like, what is that move that they're using?
So confusion is a status effect where it kind of just reflects some of the damage that you.
It hurt itself in the confusion.
Pretty
Yeah.
much.
Not quite the same as what they...
Because your move
Classical
will still go off. It's just you'll get like some of the damage reflected at you.
Okay, so now we need to go back to the village to make sure everyone's okay over there.
Remember to eat food.
Yeah. Does 10 heal? I think it does.
I'm
Yeah,
pretty sure
it does.
Okay. Do you do anything else?
Ten.
No,
okay.
it shouldn't be.
Make sure, yeah, okay, good. That was the last thing.
I mean, you can still do it
Yeah.
there.
Oh, that's right.
You can eat food
Yeah.
literally anywhere.
To go back outside. It's
Yeah,
nice outside.
It's nice.
It's very common because
Very
we
nice.
do the tents after the food. Typically, that we think to do it on save points or on the overworld.
Yep. Okay, so this boss has a
The law is back.
pretty straightforward. Most of the bosses you'll see is very similar to the same strategies. First we gotta kill this extra set of mobs though. Fortunately Jeff does it for us.
That was a nice bottle rocket. Thanks, Jeff.
Yep. If only he could do that the rest of the time.
Yeah,
Kill
he
everything in
never
one
will
shot
do
with
that
one
again.
fire.
Yeah.
This giant thing appears that doesn't have anything to do with anything else that was attacking us.
I mean, it was probably the one making all that noise.
It's called Time Slave. It's a slave to time.
It's kind of actually
Unlike the Doctor.
reminiscent of, I think they're called the Guardians in Skies of Arcadia.
be a little bit slower with some of this just because of names.
It's his final form. And speaking of final form, do get your donations in for the final form of Samsara.
Oh, nice segue there.
It's like a hitting cure is okay. He's not really. There's a little bit extra damage to try to make the damage go through enough.
Generally, the game expects you to use here, Jeff. Here,
Okay, so it casts a buff here.
you tend to not do a whole lot of physical damage against this guy, but bad breaks. It's real strong.
Especially with the
this.
attack food.
And then one more momentum X strike and he's done.
And that buff again was an HP trigger.
Yep, so he's going to use a move that does damage as he dies. You don't see this much through most of the game, but you do see it at the end.
And, you know, another of enemies that counterattack in Chrono Trigger. We don't actually have counterattacks in this game.
Isn't there there's some sprite in it that does something like that. Not that we see it in there.
Our version of confusion. Like sort of passive on the enemies, but we don't do it in the run. And it's another consequence of that not mattering on who starts the dual or triple attack. We find out this little specter is Jeff's brother. It could also be Tony, I guess.
So rude. And now Jeff officially joins us as a member of the party.
Yeah. This is before he was in our party, and it said, Jeff joined your party, but you can't actually use them for whatever reason. Story reason, but I still want you to know that he's part of your party. So now begins the grinding. It's going to be short. It's maybe 5 minutes at this point that it should take, depending on how safe we want to be.
And there is a little bit of RNG to it, but
You're not going to save.
Yeah, I should probably.
this fight is actually really rough.
So we mentioned the Sprite Knit Eaten monsters and how they're super powerful versions of normal monsters. Combining the effects of Blow Beat,
Combat instinct.
Fire weakness.
Fire Weakness,
I think we lost takaze's neck, maybe?
Yeah.
Oh.
That's me, though.
Oh. So I'm avoiding these for now.
It's
Some of
very important that we get a momentum charge.
Yep. There's a lot of extra damage.
And
plus
because they were
can-
all together, the blow beat us. And we
Yep.
killed them.
Then we get 3,000 XP per fight, which, as you saw, basically gave us 2 or 3 levels just in that fight alone.
And we'll be doing this for quite a while.
Takaze will be returning momentarily to the voice. Okay, this is a thing that happened. I think. Okay. So that one. Okay,
And
so
again,
still
they're nice and
together.
grouped up. If they're not grouped up, the first few fights can be really rough.
Yep, even with a
before you get
miss.
a few levels.
Oop, I forgot I skipped that one the first time.
You should just kill this one.
Oh, not when I get that.
Fair enough. Just to show the EXP you would get from a normal.
For a little bit extra money, and just because it's about the same speed as Fogstones, and I don't want to waste. But usually if I have to fight him, I try to back attack him so it's faster.
Yeah. Our Fogstones are limited.
I made it, okay. So this one, that one is farther off,
Yeah,
so I'm probably
I
going
think
to
the
use a fire to
bottom one,
finish it
yeah.
off. I don't know if this will kill. It'll be fine.
Ooh, did not kill. This can get dangerous depending on what the fox does. It can freeze enemies right here,
Like Ender, unfortunately, but
and this is a status where you can't do anything.
okay.
But we're
this-
fine.
Okay, we're fine. Assuming that doesn't miss.
Not just because of the freeze status. It does a lot of damage, and if everybody ends up getting frozen, it's game over, even if they're all still quote-unquote alive. So it's very important to really, I believe the other two mentioned, stressed that we really want that preemptive strike.
Yep.
For the pretty much guarantee that at least 2 of them are going to die. If we get into take our turn, scary things will happen.
Yep. Yeah, if they start freezing, it goes downhill very fast. 23. So we need 3 more. So we're grinding to level 26 here. That tends to put us at just a decent level to get through the rest of the game without spending a ton of time farming here.
And the main reasons we want to level up, so we get some extra stats, HP, MP, and we really want to make sure to get enough levels. Every few levels, you'll get an additional sprite knit slot. And we're going to be throwing so many sprite knits out in deer towards the cursor that we would run out if we didn't do a little bit of grinding.
Pay attention here. So 68 EXP for that fight, and we're getting 3,000
Yeah,
for the ones up here.
That's the difference.
Got another jagged tooth.
I think you had summoned the
Probably.
the force of fights as well.
And then you can just see that because of all of these coincidental things,
It's just
this just makes it so much more efficient to farm levels that we'll need for the rest of the game.
If just anything was a little bit different, if we did a little bit less damage, then we wouldn't be able to do this. If they didn't have a tendency of stacking up on each other, because for whatever reason they just like to group up a lot of the time.
Yeah, just kind of walk into each other.
We do need
that.
Yeah, so pay attention to the normal drop. We need
Got it.
Depending.
Well,
That's,
got the kill at least.
yeah.
large tier drop.
Yeah, okay.
Now we're fine.
So we're good on that mark.
And then we need exact kills a bit later on.
There's a few other things we'll still do.
got
That's
them?
still good.
Ooh.
This is going to be a bad formation, but
You can still try it and try to run away with
Yeah.
Jeff if it doesn't work out.
yeah. Or green around.
Yeah. That's,
There's no need to do that
dangerous.
because we haven't really saved since we've started.
Yeah, way too dangerous.
Like it could very well be possible we could have gotten through that fight, like if they decided. But
I guess while we're doing this, we can talk a little bit about the history of this run. So this came out in North America just a little under a year ago. It had been out in Japan for a little while, and this route is still largely based on one that we saw from a Japanese runner named Edgeridio. The original sort of Western people that put a lot of work, chief among them, and held the world record for a long time, was Avanis. And I put a little bit of work here and there. I have one lasting contribution to this route, which we'll see later, but it wasn't until, I guess, November and December that we really had new runners. Really revitalized sort of this.
yeah, Freddeh, Lena, and I both kind of started pretty much running around the same time.
More or less, yeah. Okay, sure.
We're pretty over leveled. 10 levels at this point, higher than what they'd really like. So for the next little bit, we get a bit of a break in terms of how easy the fights are going to be. But in less than an hour, it's going to get to the point where our levels have tapered off, and fights become a little bit harder again.
Still.
Yeah, By the end of the run, we're probably close to 15 levels under. But right now, we can enjoy being over leveled. So, quick lore update. This is the same guy who told Bad Breaks. Oh, sorry. He's like, why aren't you helping me?
I have to.
He told Bad Breaks that he needs to kill the law, and he's like, hey, you haven't killed the law yet. Why not? So we're like, hey, well, the law's gonna die because the law is the sacrifice, so it'll happen eventually. And he, for whatever reason, the mysterious man is completely fine with that.
I think the guy, he just thinks the Bad Breaks has just had enough bad breaks. Like, can't have any more bad breaks. Let me go through. Thank you.
The concept of the sacrifice is not limited to Knive Village. Everyone pretty much knows about it.
Yeah, it's very much a concept the entire world we live in, or they live in.
Just replace
another owl.
Oh, okay, that worked.
Wow.
I was not expecting that to work, honestly.
That's 4 now?
4 owls?
Not gonna get it.
Yeah, I should have just gone. Yeah, you pretty much just replace sacrifice with summoner, and you got the general idea.
Yeah, the story is unique, and they weren't trying to go for some groundbreaking story. Definitely, where the game really does excel is the whole theme. Everything in the game does a good job of the game, which is all about sadness, which is a little weird to say. Just sad.
No, it's not sad. We have a couple donations in here. We have a $5 anonymous donation. Thank you very much for your $5 donation. And comments on either of those, but we would much appreciate it.
We're gonna need to pick up. Not right now. We have a bunch of story actually to go through.
Not a lot of story.
Yeah.
Well, I was thinking the exact kills on the bunnies.
Oh. Actually, we already got.
That's Red Wrap.
Yeah, we'll need a
right,
bushy.
right.
Yeah, which will again come later, maybe in 20-ish minutes or so.
We have stuff to do. In
Royberg, we'll be here a few times. So this is kind of another section where it's kind of a hub where we'll be kind of going back and forth doing a lot of stuff, and it's empty. And why is it empty? Well, we'll find out. Distance. Maybe we should ask a kid, like, what's up? Oh no, poor kid.
Hey, he's surrounded by a lot of these.
Crabs, apparently.
Yeah.
We don't like that kind of action here.
A very there.
And that Bloody just happens to be really good.
And they're vulnerable. Well, I guess those aren't probably vulnerable, but a lot of this stuff is vulnerable to fire. Yeah.
We had like 1,000 damage each, then they have like maybe 150 HP.
This is to rescue people.
Yeah, so the village got captured by some monsters, and there's a cave back, in the back part of the town, or behind the town, that we're gonna go save people.
Yep. Someone, I think. Oh boy.
And we want the doctor in for X strikes. Still.
So there's going to be a rare drop that we're going to need from these enemies that we see here called Prickly Puff Puffs. But there's a few forced encounters that we're going to have. So ideally, we'll get them from one of the 3 forced encounters. I think we'll fight a total of 6 of them just from the glance at the drops. Whenever they die, we'll have a self-destruct move, and we'll have to sit through. Hopefully, we get it quickly. Squishy skin. We got
There it is.
two rare drops.
I'll
and a
take
single
it.
thing.
There's only 2 of them in the fight, too.
Yeah.
Now we just have to do the extra. Or
There
the,
goes all our good RNG.
fights.
Luckily, we're
Marathon
close.
luck, yeah?
We
Wait.
really only have.
Really good like rare drop luck throughout this whole run.
Are we
One
sure we're at a
last.
marathon right
Am I still in my house?
Are we riding female horses?
now? I always go this direction here. Every time.
There'll be one more rare drop. What we mentioned earlier, some more bunnies. We have like 20 minutes or so, but now we gotta rescue some villagers.
Oh, right. I spoke too soon. We have those, which notoriously hate me. I mean, not notoriously, but I hate them.
If we don't get that,
I think
Yep.
just to be safe.
okay.
And it shouldn't take long because we only need a single.
Yeah.
Uh,
I think we got more in that way.
Yeah.
I didn't see.
I think I saw one.
Let's calm
Yeah.
down, game. We'll
We
need
only
you
need
later.
the one. This guy.
Him again later. Well, we're
Talk
just
to
sort
him a
of
few times.
vaguely meeting the villagers and, you know, get a little bit of the story behind how they ended up in this situation. And
Something's a little weird. Normally, there's a band of knights that protects
Other things.
other
Apparently.
things.
Oh, that's right. I had to
He's trying to run away. You cannot run away from these fights. Just so you guys know, he showed you.
That'd be nice if I could just like, get rid of him and then save the person. I don't have to wait for these self-destructs.
But we need this person. This is the
enthusiastic girl, I believe.
yeah, I believe so. Yeah, you're right. She makes a reappearance later on.
All right, so we got a $5 donation from Knocked Frost. Good luck to my boy Freddeh. In time to see this run. Shoutouts to the Final Fantasy community and all the people at RPG Limit Break. Money goes towards naming a veil for as tradition goes. Noctis Frost. Thank you very
Noctis.
much. And we do have a 20. But I'm sorry I missed COL. Everyone at home is rooting for you,
I know we don't
Booties,
use one here.
Zelda, and I, even Thor. Play nice and PB or don't.
Okay, so yeah,
Or don't come home.
so that is
no,
my
I'm-
girlfriend.
No,
and,
I'm kidding. Love you.
So I do have to make me blush on camera.
Mission successful.
And so Bad Breaks knows that this
Something's
kid
up.
that was doing stand-up is actually a monster.
His jokes were that bad.
And it's really weird because monsters aren't supposed to take on other appearances.
It's a pretty straightforward fight, as we mentioned earlier. We're kind of a little bit over leveled. There's a few annoying things that can happen, like that. It has Paralyze, which adds... Like, Paralyze really is kind of more like a silence. It locks us out from doing text when used on us. If an enemy gets paralyzed, it locks them out from doing anything. Stop it, the law says.
Stop right there, criminal scum.
So, ideally, we wouldn't get paralyzed, but we're just... Oh boy.
Wow. We could have used a panacea, but there are a few other places
Yeah, the
where
fight's quick enough.
Yeah,
Anyway.
it's quick fight and
as
we're more
the Beatle
dangerous.
decides to do his rendition of Bohemian Rhapsody.
So,
Mama.
Boy.
Oh,
Can we play this game faster so we can be done with this?
Oh, it's never gonna end.
Oh man, I have to room with this guy.
At least I don't pun in my sleep.
Thank you. So the guy was, this kid was calling out for his mom, and as he tells his mother, and the thing in the background, that's his mother.
Yeah.
So the law has to break it to him. Your mom is dead. It's a little, again, it's a little sad. This game is all about being sad.
Yeah, this is not a happy game.
No, not
Apparently, the person that actually came was a certain person with a scythe.
Yeah.
Well, who do we know with a scythe?
Nothing really. He wants to kill the sacrifice, and I hear he doesn't like the sacrifice, and he wants the law dead. That's really all we know.
But why did he kill monsters? It's rude.
We don't know.
Isn't that Bad Breaks?
Yeah, you're forcing it now.
No, I actually like meant the character. That wasn't a pun.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Bad Breaks
every
is-
other time
wait,
it's like
is
that.
Bad Breaks a monster? I'm confused.
Ooh, new person.
Is man
This person is definitely not joining our party. I believe the name for this is, you know the name. Isn't it Judge Dredd?
Oh, yeah. 2D.
You're gonna have to 2D.
No
You have
space.
to no space it, just like Green Orange.
That's good?
Yep.
Okay. My
In
name's
honor
Judge
of
Dredd.
a certain character's name.
We have the law and Judge Dredd.
Now, while this character is kind of interesting,
She's not particularly useful.
We don't really have a way to use her.
she's
unfortunately.
very angry.
Also very angry.
So for the most part, our party tends to be pretty set. We used Jeff for a little bit, but we're not going to be using him again. The only characters that we'll be using are the other four that we've seen really. So Judge Dredd, sorry, you're just going to not get used. And part of the reason is because we get her pretty late. She joins us at level 18.
The
she
levels don't scale.
Yeah, she didn't
so
get
it's not
the grind XP at all.
Exactly.
And for her to get anything, we'd have to go out of our way to get some drops for that, and that would just kind of add to the time. I know Freddeh was actually working on a route to try to have her one of her triple techs, which would be better than the one that we're going to end up using. But in the end, it kind of ended up just being slower, just because you have to go out of your way to get that.
Yeah, it wasn't too out of the way, but it wasn't as good for killing the extra mobs as it was for the boss itself. Plus, you lose out some side benefits as well.
Because all this stuff that any of the fluxes that we've gotten, which I don't think we have any on Cyclone.
Yeah.
The game very much does, at least in terms of a speedrun standpoint, stick with the things that you've been using, from the fluxation to have get extra techniques.
And another quirk of this game is it likes to bring up the switch party menu when you don't have any people to switch your party into.
Well, yeah, whenever you get people joining or leaving your party, I'll be like, okay, here. I guess it's just kind of to show you here's the people in your party, but you can just take a look on, the people that are following you. No, sorry. Nope, sorry.
Now it's too late.
I'm sorry.
Do you usually get that Spirit Night here or later?
Spiritual Harmony, I'll tend to get here.
Okay.
Which will, talk to the
Yeah.
So part of
Only
the
go down
reason I mentioned early on in the game that I like to get the hexagonal pendants, or a particular item I got from the birds. Freddeh likes to get it a little bit later. Part of the reason I like to get it early is just because I can get Spiritual Harmony, which is a support sprite in it, pretty identical to Combat Instinct, but instead of damage being tied to HP, damage is tied to MP. So in my route, I have it for 2 extra fights. Not the biggest of differences, really. So it's kind of preference at this point. And I don't think we've done timing, how faster, quote unquote, my way makes it in terms of fights.
Jeff wants to help. The law.
Thank you, Bedricks, says the law.
Getting this ability is also my favorite part in speedrun notes ever, because it says.
Whoa. You're getting
Okay.
You're getting ahead. Wait. We'll get to that point. First, we got to rescue the kid. Judge Dredd decided that really doesn't like monsters, and she's going to kill all the monsters nearby. They're going to go through that cave, kill everything. So we kind of bonded with that kid, and the law was like, look, we have to. This isn't right. We have to save the kid. So we go here, tell the kid to run away before he gets slaughtered by Judge Dredd.
I assume you just use Avarshina for the bushy kills as well.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
I would
This
just do
It's just to
the
save the menu time.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, but you can do that when you tent for Daoshi.
It should
Not
still
actually, but-
kill with Blowbeat.
Yeah, I don't see why not.
I guess you'll find out.
Because
Yeah, I tend to go for an item called Light Bit, which is most importantly for kind of the last hour.
Yep.
It does involve having to get another rare drop. Some people don't like going for it.
I
personally
avoid
do.
it. I think actually Malgar, you said you don't get it either usually, right?
I try for it. I
Yeah.
don't go out of my way to get it. Like I don't farm up the rare drops if I don't.
The owls. Excuse me.
The law. Are you trying to get eaten? Sorry. The law.
So we'll want to get, in the end, we want 4 light. Kind of give it a free one. They'll be, we'll find them kind of in packs, and we can get another 3 pretty easily.
Yep, and we have to kill them for another drop as well.
There's
We
actually
need
2.
overkills.
Yeah, that's right. We need overkills as well. There's 2 items that we get from essentially that we're getting out of the snakes that we'll see in the next town. And then after that section, I think we'll be mostly done with these drops. Now we can just not have to worry about it. But Judge Dredd is getting a little heated, getting real upset.
You mentioned earlier, that Hedbury was your least favorite part. This is
Mostly just because lots of text.
lots of text, not a lot of gameplay.
Yeah. Fight is fairly straightforward just because, we just finished a grind session and then it's just a lot of town stuff. Once we get out of here, pretty quickly back to each other.
Yep, picks up again.
So, Jeff being released the information that Setsuna Flonia Citadel, we decided it would probably be a good idea to hide that information because, bad things happened. And guess what? Bad things happened again.
So we talked to this guy that got smacked into a wall earlier.
Yeah.
He's still there for some reason. It
He's
was just
still
that
there.
hard of a smack.
So
It was
we
Judge Dredd,
asked,
so
what's up with Judge Dredd? Like, Judge Dredd went crazy for a second there. Uncontrollable rage. It's crazy powers. What's the deal? So he's like, Judge Dredd went out to save a knight or something like that and got lost for a month. And we assumed Judge Dredd was dead. But Judge Dredd came back, and ever since then, Judge Dredd has not been the same. But there's a way to heal Judge Dredd, and we need to talk to this magic consortium guy. He has a way to heal Judge.
You're not yourself. Have a Snickers.
have
Yeah,
a Snickers.
that's what the secret potion is. Just a Snickers. That's why it doesn't. say too much, I guess.
And this is just a lot of story dump.
Yeah, just talking.
We do a fight soon.
So we're basically gonna be on a fetch quest of go over here.
Help me so.
Oh,
So much faster.
yeah,
Again.
you can see the difference between.
Favorite notes? Harmony.
Spiritual harmony.
Oh, spiritual.
Yeah, we already have combat instinct.
That's right. That was earlier.
So combat instinct and spiritual harmony pretty similar to each other. On HP. Again, we'll be giving to Endear, so we just got another damage boost for him. And they all just stack up with each other. It's great.
We have a $45 anonymous donation. Great runner, great game. Good luck on the run. Thank you. Just want to, if you're just joining us, this is RPG Limit Break 2017. Here in Salt Lake City, we are supporting NAMI, which is the National Alliance on Mental Illness. They NAMI.org or join the conversation. You're watching I Am Setsuna right now. Close to about halfway through the run, it looks like.
About that.
Co-op run with Takaze and Freddeh here. There's some inklings in the chat that you guys are on pretty good pace here.
This is actually pretty.
We're at for pace, but we've had good luck, so I imagine our pace is not terrible.
Like I mentioned, a lot of, at least in the first half of the run, is really making sure to get that good RNG. This is going to be the last rare drop we need coming up here soon, so hopefully with a little bit of extra luck, we'll get it, and then we just need to, I guess, execute after that.
In terms of incentives we have going on during this run, you can name the Luminar skill coming up. I think that's coming up sometime pretty soon here. Ish.
45 minutes ish?
45 minutes to name the skill that they'll be using. And we also have the final form Samsara, which is the hardest form of the final boss. We still have quite a bit to go for that. We have $65.16 out of 500. We want to see that by the end of the run here to get that.
Luminaire will still catch us red-handed.
Oh boy. So I would like to see the final form. Freddeh, that was Freddeh's idea, and we kind of both worked on that a little bit. And I thought
really
it was impossible at
right
first.
before the marathon, I just started grinding. Like, I need to figure this out because we haven't in the marathon soon.
Yeah, because I had tried it
I'm
out.
like, okay, this is difficult.
It wasn't working, and then we found a consistent setup where it wouldn't be completely bad, but it's not a guaranteed fight.
We found the consistent setup is really the right word for it, because it just ended up being very convenient.
I mean, it's different than the way I do the
I mean, I approach the fight a little bit differently than I would in the speed run, but it's really not that much different overall. Like, I don't have to actually farm anything extra. I only like to pick up a little bit extra items.
We'll be like, there's no extra drops that we need to get, so we'll kind of be doing like normal speedrun strats for it. So we're not like, oh, we're gonna have to grind extra levels. We're gonna have to get a bunch of new things. No, we'll just be going to like speedrun strats. Let's do this. It's a little scary when sometimes things can just one-shot you.
So because it's a marathon, if you want to see the guys die a bunch, get your.
We are kind of tired, to be fair.
At
least I am.
I've been up for a while.
Yeah, pretty sure we all have.
So we gave the Snickers, or secret medicine, or whatever it was, to Judge Dredd, and Judge Dredd is feeling a little bit better. Kind of remembers what happened, and now is going to be so thankful that we helped her out. She's going to want to join our party.
Judge Dredd is once again on the side of the law.
Background, because we don't miss her, unfortunately.
She joins the party, but she doesn't do much.
She's a follower.
Yeah, it's
She
really
just tries to uphold
unfortunate
the law.
that party members don't join at levels based on your own. That would make things a little more interesting, I believe.
Yeah, it would certainly make it so that it would definitely be more incentive for us to use strats, but she's behind 10 levels essentially. It makes it a little bit harder to do that.
Yep. Fresh was only level 17. Jeez.
And the entire point of going to that town was to find someone to get us across this ice flow.
So that's what Judge Red's
So we finally now have done that and can continue on our journey to sacrifice.
And we're coming up on the second hour here. So as we're going to be splitting this into quarters again, I'll take over after the next boss fight for the third hour.
Yep. Yeah, that's an interesting spot to have gotten caught twice, and usually I can skip that fight without any issue, but
Just another kind of
randomness of this game.
little bit of RNG. Sometimes it plays in our favor. I think we've actually been doing a pretty good job of avoiding fights in general.
Overall, yeah.
We still have a decent amount of fog stones. Because
should-
we still haven't...
We still have to kill a bunch of
配信者
We
は
haven't
私
run
はや
out
りた
yet.
いと思い
That's
ま
an
す。
easy way to remember.
ただいまのゲームが、
I tend to like
I
to
try to keep 9 after this section for Archibald.
I am the law 私が法律だ。
if you
何言
get
ってん
into
ですか
the
ね。
fight, we do need to break up.
おそらくドネーションの
I
結
know,
果
like,
だと思うんです
is
が、
on the singles though.
That's true. So in the first screen,
まあね、正式
we
タ
want
イ
to
トル
get
は、
there's the bunny things are called
いけにえ
triple
と雪のセツ
They're
ナですね。
This first screen, they
海外タイトルは、アイアムセツナ
second screen they come in packs of
で
twos,
す
and
が、
I think there's a pack of 3 hidden in there too.
ま
So
あ、
that's generally
な
where
ん
I
で
like
なんでしょうね。
once I get to this.
Yep.
Start praying.
Got a 10 before this,
Yeah.
but it's okay. I'll just do there's be a lot of
ゲーム音声見てるとどうやら、
Guess what?
あの、
yeah. Changing weapon is also
日本語で
they are
プレイされてる
light
って
damage.
ね。海外版
That's why you
英語
don't
音声
have
な
Russian
ないんですかね、これね。
Well.
ちょっと分かりかねるんですけど、まあいや、まあ、これもやったことないゲームですので、
Let's get those. And now we can do damage.
We'll need to put on the Crimson Lotus for the
Yeah.
next boss anyway. So
まあ、なんだっけ、
let's see.
ハードはパソコンですけど、
Can't even remember the
も
item.
ともとは、
It's Bushy Tail.
Bushy tail.
Yeah, so those combo power added to the shock are just going to make our flow beats a little bit stronger. Not particularly relevant as our main damage source is going to be kind of an extra.
It'll help the next fight.
もともとは、あれですかね、プレステ4でしたかね、確かね。
Every time.
ね、スクエニから出てるゲームですけど。確か、システムが、クロノトリガーでしたっけね、確かね、ベースがね。
Is
I
that?
think 2 more.
ベースが、
If we
そ
want
れ
to go
で
out of our way.
I mean, yeah, we got our way for it.
Ma.
On the way.
なんて言ったらいいんですか、移植、まあ移植とはちょっと失礼間違いですね。まあ、
Straight up is the boss, isn't it?
No, not quite. We'll get to the save.
トリガーのね、正式な、まあ、ストーリーの後
Yeah, so the bird actually.
は、
So we'll only have
Yeah.
one chance.
This one's the one. I can feel it.
You feel
まあ、
it?
クロノクロスですけど、
あ
まあ、システム的なところはね、クロノトリガーからの
We got a lot of stuff there.
ベースとしたもの
and
っていう
no
ところですよ
bushy
ね。
tail, I see.
Okay, it wasn't the one.
So if we go down here, there'll be a pack of 3. Then we can, if you want to save, and we can kind of approach this stuff. That'd probably be the easiest way to do it.
Do what?
プレステ4とビータからスチーム移植
Yeah, that's
でスイッチ。
I-
あ、スイッチ出るんですね、
I'll
これ。
probably do it.
Yeah, just do it after the fight.
あ、本当だ、スイッチ。
This is not pretty close.
Oh, one
スイッチが
One
出る。
HP. Oh boy.
Good timing.
ミップレイなんで話がわからないっていう
No,
ね。
it's just
ちょっとね、
Get it.
今日ちょっとところどころ音声が切れる
Save point.
トラブルちょっと発生してて、ちょっと私で今までいなかったんでね、ちょっと申し訳ないんですけど、まあ、生贄と雪の刹那が終わった後、ちょっと、確認をちょっともう一回取ってですね、
We have one.
それがないようにちょっ
We
と、
only need
all we need is one, but
Yeah.
then we need two.
再調整してちょっと また配信したいと思いますので、ちょっと申し訳ないです。今日5月15日の配信、日本語再配信の方はちょっとね、刹那 I am the law ね私が法律だからねすごいよね。なんだこれってなるよ。で、どれが刹那だか分かってないっていうね、私。今このメンバーにいるのかな。もうそれすら分かってない。あれ松田さんだったかな、確かね。確か最初発起人が松田さんだったと思ったんだけど、松田洋介さん。違ったっけ確か松田洋介さんだったはずなんだけど。で、確かスタッフをなんか特に制限せずに確か集めたはずなんですけど、記憶曖昧なんですけどね、それ。この中に刹那いない。刹那いない。So I need to convince these two that going for light bit is definitely worth it. So it's only happening once. まあ割と昔のゲームだったらまだやってるものがあったりするんですけど、プレステ4はまだ全然カバーできてないんでね、私が。プレステ4持ってますが、ほぼ持ってるのがアーケードアーカイブスばっかりなんで、私が。なもんでね、あんまり今のゲームが分かってないっていう。まああとはもう小じ発言堂々としますけど、プレイステーションプラスで無料で来るやつ、毎月ね、プレイステーションプラスで大体まあ1つか2つは配信されるんですけど、無料でプレイステーションプラスに入ってればまあ無料でできますよっていうね。まあソニーさんのね、まあ粋な計らいですけどね、まあ500円払ってるからいいよ、オンラインとあと1個ゲームつけるよってね、そんな感じでやってますけど。生贄と雪の刹那って世界観どうなんだろう。ちょっと公式見てきます。わからないんで。わからないときはもう公式見るしかないんでね。
So just a lot of bridges that we have to make. Got a little mazy. I guess I can take this. No, I'm not gonna take this one because it's not getting in my way. There will be others that get in my way.
Watch it get in your way anyway.
Yeah, watch it get in my way.
No, yeah, there's another 3 packed in.
その島には古来より習わしがあった10年に一度生贄を捧げ魔物の被害を抑制する。この生贄の儀式により島の絵を持ち島の平和を保たれていた。だけど魔物の被害が急増し始めて生贄を捧げることで沈めようとしたと。なんか話が FF10 っぽい。何も知らない私からするとパッと見て思ったのは FF10 かな、このストーリーっていう感じですけどね。こういうこと言っちゃいけないからコンセプト、まあストーリーのコンセプトはなんかそんな感じなのかな。まああっちはあっちでちょっと違いますけど、ね、私シンを倒しますって言って、ね、ユーナさん出てきますけどね。まああれはギザナルドは一言も言ってない。そうですね、コンセプトが純国産 RPG がね、優勢を極めた90年代っていう、ね、それをプレイフィールを追求してっていうことなんで、まああれをね、ものすごく意識してるっていうのはやっぱり
Daijoubu,
堂
or
々と
sorry,
最初に書いてます
the
から
law
ね。
say stuff about being Daijoubu a whole lot. Just something I usually watch out for.
I heard it right at the beginning.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I wasn't thinking about it at the beginning, so I didn't hear it.
So the law likes to say, like, ask everybody, if everybody's okay. Ask if everybody is Daijoubu.
So green Oran and bad breaks are taken to
でこれ
This
今
this
place?
area.
どこなんです
I
か？
mean, they're just having a dream sequence.
Yeah.
Really, we're inside Oran's head.
There's actually snow everywhere. Even inside Oran's Head, there is snow everywhere.
キャラクターをちゃんと見とこう今。
Uh,
今公式を見てちゃん
I
と見
guess
と
it's
こ
better than water everywhere, like other Oran.
That's true. That's true. So basically, we just get to a little bit of
う。
backstory
左のが主人公
for
だったんですね。
we mentioned earlier.
左のが主人公だったんだね。
Previous sacrifice,
この仮面かぶってるのがね。
and they actually failed.
今知った。
So here we have the sacrifice, and the sacrifice's sister. Maybe they look familiar, maybe they don't.
ほうほう。
We're good. We're good.
Just accidentally unplug it.
Yeah, controller got unplugged for a second there.
Okay, I'll just go away. I won't worry about it.
It says something
X切りあるん
about
ですか？
not being a legit PS3.
ああ、その辺クロノトリガーを踏襲してるのかな。
It's Freddeh, so I don't know, blame him or something.
I used it. It works on PS3, I swear.
Yeah, I mean, you can look at it and see.
It
If
says
you can
Sony
zoom in
on-
here, it's Sony DualShock 3. It's red.
Maybe that's why it's not black.
It- Does that make your text
Like
全然
messaging?
ね、もう最近のゲームになってくるとわからないんだ。
Yeah, it is right now.
In reference to some of our
The burning finger.
Oh.
And more cutscene happens.
このゲーム日本だと
this game is really
ち
fond
ょっ
of
と
doing
問題
story
み
dumps,
たいですね。ガイドラインが書い
big
てあるので。
chunks.
I mean, I think it actually does a pretty good job of its
一応公式の発表だと
the pacing could be a little bit better, but in general, I think the game has pretty good pacing. There's stuff to do
YouTube
in
ニコニコ
between,
動
it's
画
not like,
もうユーストリーム
okay,
ない
now
で
you
すけ
have
ど
an hour.
などの、動画共有サイト。ただし一般社団法人
This is
ジャスラックですね。
pretty
ジャスラックと音楽に関する利用許諾締約の締結済みサイトに限るものと
Purely
し
because of
て
this text skip speed.
Yeah,
まあ配信することは
That's not
OK ですと。
insignificant.
So it's like it's gonna be a co-op PB.
Yeah, it will be.
つまり
Yeah.
プレステ4の機能じゃないとお前許さんよみたいなことですね。これ書いてある
Untested world record.
Super competitive category.
The
あと
good
は
thing
何
about all these story dumps is
YouTube
there's
とかもね
generally good
一応
music playing
ジャスラッ
at
クの
whatever point.
契約はちゃんと結んであるんでね。
Happens to be Green Oran's daughter.
そうですね、スクエニって結構国内は厳しいですよね
This。is my
まあ
daughter. Her
スクエ
name
ニ
is
のみならずですけどね、あとはアトラスも結構
Green Oran,
厳しいですけどね。
your horrible father.
You abandoned the law.
そこがね、ちょっと厳しいところですよね。まあアトラスはほら、なんだっけ、何ヶ月か前にありましたよね。ペルソナ5を配信することが
Only,
ね、
only bad breaks.
ダメだっつってガイドライン引いたけど、お前それふざけんなっつってね、なんかプレイヤーがすごい
Thank you.
声を上げたから
Jeff likes to make fun of
結構
people.
覆ったみたいなね、とこもありましたけど、
Particularly Green Oran.
Particularly Green Oran.
まああと
This
は
is gonna be
その
kind
プレステ
of
4の配信機能自体にまあ
Green Oran.
もう皆さんねもうご存知だと思うんですけど、例えばムービーシーンだったりとかそういうプレイしないところですね、ああいうところを
So,
映さない、もう登録してあるんですよね。
Each, I will get them.
シーンはまあ、配信画面には映りますとか、そういうふうにすごい厳しく制限されているので、まあ、そのためね、プレステ4だったらとりあえずニコ生であるとか、まあ、YouTube であれば、まあ、そういうのをね、全
So
部
they have the same,
一応放送していいよっていう
drops, with the exception of
ね、
rare
ガイドラインが
drops being different.
されてますけ
Go
ど
up、here and pick up this elixir.
Oh, that looks okay.
That elixir. Just for a little bit of safety if one of the later fights just goes a little
ま
bit
あ、
of
とりあえ
rough.
ずね、
And it's almost on.
まあ日本だと厳しいということです。まあもしかするとね、5年、3年とか5年すれば時効になったりするかもしれないですけどね。
It's kind of going to be pushing my fogstones here.
Yeah, you
They
usually
usually
come
basic.
really.
まあなかなか
As long
厳
as
しい
you.
まあゲーム会社もね、まあ
Ooh.
ボランティアじゃない
And
で
that
す
is
から
one of
ね。
the downsides to these areas.
It's easy
This
to
one
forget
first,
to
and
activate
then
the
yeah,
bridge.
it's like protecting. You think because there's a kind of a two-part
これ
bridge
どこな
section
んだろ
coming
う。
up here.
There
A lot
are
of
a
times we get ahead of
few.
ourselves.
There are a few dungeons with the sort of ruined, and it's really easy to just be like, I'm going in this particular without
まあ
putting an effort in
こういう
to learn
まあ
specifically.
昔のねレトロゲーと言われるやつはもうね今配信しても文句言われ、まあグレーですけど、
So, again,
正確に言え
it's
ば
gonna
グレー
be
ですけど、
raised
ちゃんと
bridges here. Capture grids.
公式にね、
A lot
ア
of
ス
these you
聞か
usually
ない
have
と本当はいけないんですけどね。
These rooms are
and you have to run through the area twice.
And also, bad breaks.
だからこういうちょっと運動がねできればいいんじゃないかな
The
と
other
思
two
うんですけど、
don't
まあ
really do a
講
lot of
義じゃない
damage
ですよ。
on their own.
海外は OK なのに日本はダメなのってどういうこととかね、そういう感じで
Two,
this is
perfect.
getting
Did
used to
exactly
this.
enough fogstone.
well. I
ちょっとは回転
prefer
す
to
ると
keep the fogstones
いいかな
in
と思うんで
place.
すけど。
So, an unfortunate thing is I can't
Yeah.
actually reorder. I can reorder in. I'm gonna
切ないザ・ロー
don't like the menu getting changed.
すごいね、
So
ザ
I'm just gonna kill this fight.
Another reason I like.
確かね
map
点は OK だったと思
that
う。
as much.
うん、確か OK だと思いましたよ、あれ確か発表してて。
We have a $25.
だから割となんだろう、
Really
バーチャルコンソールとかはおそらく OK 出てるのが多いんじゃないんです
About
か。
that.
言うて過去の作品ですからね。
Smash Bros.
まあどうかは分かりません。
So
ちゃんと
we see a save point. Guess what's coming up? It's a boss.
そういうとこも確認すべきだとは思うので。
Got that?
Yep.
Hail beam. It's our last one. Our last tent too. Oh boy.
And
I'll just save just to title.
and
It's completely
Interestingly, in dungeons, the tents don't always.
パソ
especially
コン
ruined
版って
dungeons, it seems like
読み込み早いんでしょう
tents
ね。
don't actually like make you go to sleep or something. It just heals you.
I mean, who would want to go to sleep in a dungeon?
It's a good point.
刹那が分からないからゲームについて何も語れないっていう、どうしよう。
we see the reaper.
Now it's time for the doctor to get
今
involved.
日配信いかがでしたでしょうかね。まあもう11時なんで、とりあえず
Yeah, where's this move?
まあその辺もまとめちゃおうかと思うん
What
で
move
す
is
が。
this? What is that?
I want that move.
Yeah. That would be nice to have. Jeff and the Doctor are holding
黄
out
金
on us.
の太陽がゲームボーイアドバンスで、ポケモンサファイアもアドバンス
The last fight that
ポケモン詳しく
tends
な
to
いん
be
で
a
ね。
little bit on the easy side, and everything after this.
ポケモン初代しかやってないような、もう素人なもんでね。
Grinding isn't nearly as
サファイアって
impactful as before.
アドバンス
I
とかい
do
う
want
レ
to
ベルのにわかなんで。
keep an eye on
Alright.
what this guy is doing because he has a transform,
まあディアブロはね、
start absorbing
to-
a bunch of HP. So a
RTS みたいな
situation
感じだ
like
ったっけ
that's
な、
not
確か。
particularly great. I'm gonna play it a little bit safe.
ね。
Yeah, he hasn't. I haven't.
で、
broken
チ
that
ャイル
HP.
ド・オブ・ライトはね、
At this
カイ
point,
シュラ
so
さん
his
が、
next move is gonna be absorbed.
まあ、解説してくださったのでありがたいんですけども、
And ideally, I can kill him before he gets another turn.
内容確か
Close.
2D だったよね。2D の
That was almost
Oh,
ア
yeah.
クションゲームだったはず。
Okay.
There you
But Green Orange can finish.
So that's
後から
that's
後
the
で
way
確
we
認
want
し
to
ます
set
けど
up
ね、
the fight.
私も。
Ideally, you want it to have gotten a miss there, but we want to make sure that he does the absorb, and then before he can do anything scary after,
あとはね、キングダムハーツ
he'll
は、
actually absorb.
チ
will
ェーンオブ
basically
メモリーズも
waste
ゲームボーイ
up,
アドバンスだったよね、あれ
start
ね。
getting quite a bit of HP back,
はい
and it's kind of
で、あとこれです
saw I
ね
was。getting a little low there. If you happen to kill somebody off, like
で、これの後
I
が
don't have any
ゼノ
damage
ブレイド。
anymore, and he's healing, and it becomes a really scary fight.
ゼノブレイドね、結構日本では人気
That's you know,
ありまし
why
た
I
から
saved just in
ね
case if I got
これ
like,
が
if there
RTA
was
するっていう
another
のも
miss
や
in
っぱ
there,
すごいなと思いますけど。
very easily could have died.
While we're heading town. Can we get an update
今回
on
本当なんかね
the
プレステ
remaining
4とかで
incentives?
出たゲームも RT してるんでね、早いなって思いますよね。最終日の1個前ですか、1個前にワールド・オブ・ファイナル・ファンタジーとかありますけど、
Are we
あれ
getting
も
close
結構
to
出たのが
A little bit.
We still have some time.
This is the time we get it in, but we have
出
to
た
go
のいつだっけ
out
あれ、
and
去
then
年
come back.
去年じゃんね、確かね。
So I'd probably
Voilà.
say at least another half an hour.
もう RTA してるんだって思います
Roughly
け
a
ど、
half hour, yeah.
Alright.
There'll be two more bosses.
Well, for the final fight, final form of Samsara, we have 100 be open until the end of the game. I want to get your dollars.
会場の
for sure. We have a
会
skill
場の
name naming
オーディエン
incentive
スが
for
あまりいない
Lumiere,
という
and that should be coming up sometime soon.
なかなか
Right now we have
今の時間多分
$58 on Burning Finger. Jeff at $26.
何時やろ
Going up. And $10
ソルトレイク
on
シーだっ
Shining
たっけ
Finger and $1 for Taiho.
So all the things. I'm gonna pick up a few things here.
Hey, if you can notice our gold total.
Resonance light bet and Destined Cycle. I believe that's it.
今
So
8時か
how many?
Can't get Belgrade.
I'm going to.
ちょうど朝
You typically buy.
One in
朝に向かうとこ、まあ朝になってるん
Einstein.
か。
We have money.
He'll be doing the last section, so I want to check with him like,
Yeah.
how much he usually needs.
ね
These big stack of these.
まあ日本は
It's probably enough, right?
GMT
Buy
グ
this
リニ
last one,
地標準時で
Yeah, we need about 18,000 at the end of here.
Yeah.
いつだったっけ
These looks pretty
Oh yeah,
good.
you can buy a few more if you want.
Potions or let's
waters.
buy.
One more
waters.
Fox Stones, yeah. We can stop by some more later too. So.
We
Yeah.
should be good.
Mid potions I never use really,
Just,
other than the next fight, but yeah.
just in case. So I want to buy this.
Idlehitis, Phantasma.
ああ、おそらくね、そ
We
の
have
可能性はあり
$5
ますよ
donation
ね。
from Reza NL.
ゲストハウスとかね
Comment, but thank you very
確かに
much.
あると。あの奥とかそうなんじゃないか
Our
な、ひょっ
next
と
game
して。
as well, I might as well
あ
mention
の
is
仕切りが
Lake
ね
Chronicles.
さ
I
れて
guess we
ま
got
すけ
that
ど
from the previous donations there, but we have two bid incentives. One is for performing a melancholy Tyria side quest, and $95 out of 1,000 for that one. That's a big one. And Japanese voice acting. Is this a? Yes, it's a bid war. So we have $120 for English and $50 for Japanese for the voice acting.
これ Steam 版でやってると思うんですけど、なんで英語版ないんだろう、本当。不思議ですよね。なんだっけ、ネプトゥーヌとかはね、確か英語もあった気がしたんだけど、あれもうないんだっけ、あやふや。
Oh yeah. I was trying to think of what that was, which is kind of ironic, but I'll say why when we get there.
これなんか意図的にザコって全部オリジナルなのがなんか完全に狙ってますよね。ドネーションね。
We mentioned at the beginning of the run that the choices you make and some of the dialogue options don't matter in terms of the speedrun, but sometimes there is some amusing text that happens, and a lot of the text ends up being Eterna, or rather the doctor,
ああ、なるほ
kind of
ど。
scolding you or making fun of you because she'll ask a question and then you'll give a really dumb answer.
まあテキストさえ分かればねっていうのが
You silly person. Yeah,
We did
this-
see
I don't know,
another
yeah.
owl there.
I didn't even know that Owls could replace that monster actually.
I think owls can replace any
Really?
Non-boss monster.
yeah, like
Huh.
non-sprite monsters.
Right.
Yeah, that too.
まあ
そう
こういうねリストリームで私で今しますけど分かってるゲームがものすごくないっ
Magical
てい
barrier
う
on it that we can't quite get past. We're gonna talk to you
ものすごく少ないんですよ私これ
about this new stuff.
やってるゲーム
Yeah,
が
Judge Dredd, what is wrong with you?
She happens to be a healer type person.
さすがに
Who
ねで
else
も
do we know that is a
ゲーム
healer
が
type
分か
person?
った段階で全部できるかって言われたらノーだったんで
So at least you know a minute or 30
Are you
seconds.
trying to spoil it for chat?
なんとも言えないですね
Judge Dredd has the dick party.
Again, jeez.
Don't use Julian Flash.
あー
She
なる
does
ほ
leave our
ど
party a few times.
確かにねそれははいありますよね
We
be very difficult.
あの
we wouldn't have her in if we tried to make some sort of route with her.
基本的によくね海外勢が
That's
日本語版をプレイするっていう
Unfortunately, one
時
of the
に
reasons we would want to try user
選ぶ理由がそれですよね。
It's easier that way, there's no point.
なんで日本語でやってんのって聞いたら、いや日本語版の方がテキストが短いからとかね。もうね海外勢って海外のね RTA プレイヤーってのは本当そういうとこは本当極まってるんで、もうすぐ日本語版の方が利益がメリットがある、速さ突き詰める上でメリットがあるってなるともう日本語版ちゃんとそれますからね。まあツイッチ上だからまあ言っても大丈夫なのかな、割とエミュレーターだよなんていう人もいますけどね。
And we want to get past this area so we can get to the Lost Lands.
だからまあ
And there's like some actually some magical
なんとも言えないとこですけどね。日本だと結構ね著作権だなんだかんだっつって突っかかってくる人たくさんいますのでまあねおっぴらにうんなんて言えないですけど、
Fortunately, the
こんなところでうんなんてこんなでかいこと言ってるからまずいんですけどね。
it's very convenient.
まあそこはまあ国が違うんで何も言えないっていうところが正しいんですけど。
Also, the boss coming up is actually one of the harder bosses in the game because it can put out a lot of damage very quickly.
トナカイが立って歩いてるけどすごいな。
Cutscene.
Cutscene. It does a lot of single target damage, and it has enough HP. It's not like some of the earlier fights where it has like, oh, it's just 1,000 HP. It has almost 3,000, I think. It just takes its turns so fast. It can easily get 2 turns off before like a turner can get a turn off, and the turn is supposed to, or sorry, the doctor.
The doctor.
And she's like supposed to be the fast character. And then if you compare it to like Arin over here, Arin's really slow, and he can easily get 3 turns off by the time Arin can get a single turn off.
The next boss is also immune to slow, which doesn't help.
あとはもう告知をあらかじめしておきますが、いけにえと雪のセツナが終わった後ちょっとまで一旦配信を切ります。だいたいまあ5分ぐらい、まあ、5分から10分ぐらいちょっと1回配信を切ります。でちょっとね調整をして、あと昼間はちょっとまあ休憩中にねちらっと見たときに寄付って何の寄付だかわからないっていうのがあったので、それもちょっとね、記入しておきます。それをねそういうとかやっておきますので、まあその辺ちょっとありますので、お時間ちょっといただきたいなと思います。よろしくお願いいたします。また改めてね、いけにえと雪のセツナ終わった時にももう一回告知しますが、ご理解の方お願いします。
At work, guys. Thanks, alpaca, my bag. Yeah, he went there. He has alpacas.
これ逃げてる
If you
の
had
か
to
な。
change locations,
Don't. Whatever you're about to do, just don't. So this first time we use a Purica cobbler salad to give us this HP.
はい。
you have a few mid potions you could
It's
use.
60 HP, it's fine.
Light that. I have to move you down here.
まあね、もし今見てる方で
You already used it?
こういう時だけは Xbox のコントローラー使ってるんでね
That's what I say.
面白いですね。
Just so this guy is Aurorian Tiger. As we mentioned, he's real fast.
なんかロールプレイングもね、こういうリレー面白そうですけどね。例えば FF の7とか8とかだったらディステージを 1人目がやってディスク2を2人目がやってみたいな、それはちょっと面白そうかなと思った、今見てて思ったん
That
ですけ
just
ど。
did half my HP.
Fix that.
Nice stun.
You get stun
Stun
and
will
そういうのもね
reset
なんか
the bar of an enemy.
いいなってちょっと思ってた。
Still took a turn before anybody else. And that's what really makes this guy dangerous.
まあやっぱりねどうしても RTA ってなると1人で全部やるっていうのはまあ基本的にはそうですけどね。
It's
He
a-
has
it's-
various elemental attacks.
まあそういうの
Ender.
まあイベントとしてはね、イベントの中でのをやるっていうのはいいんじゃないかなってちょっと今思いましたね。このねプレイヤーの感じ見てるとね。
gonna wait a
まああとはまあ
second.
今回聖剣伝説みたいにマルチプレイヤーでね、
Fight's not going too badly so far.
3人プレイでやるっていう
One more extra.
ことになってます
Just
け
need
ど。
to survive till then.
Can we live? I'd like to live one
Should
turn.
be good.
Nice.
Yeah.
おい耐えた
Okay.
耐えたな。
Should give him enough time to finish him off.
Should, yeah.
Unless we miss, then things will get hairy.
Start your game.
これは壁かな。
Okay, Kaku.
確かにね戦闘システム見てると
There we go.
Right.
あクロノトリガー
So
だ
that,
な。
that fight can be really frustrating if he decides to just not cooperate. Like if he decides to spend some time just wailing on Turner or the doctor.
面白そうですねこれもね。
He can easily two-shot her, and then I'd have to spend time making sure to get her up so I can actually get my X strikes off. By the way, what's wrong with Dread?
Oh, yeah, she's going crazy again.
Super
It's okay.
Saiyan.
She got this.
Yeah, I mean, we
Destroys
wouldn't
the
be
wall.
we wouldn't be able to beat this fight without her.
ジャッジ
Post
ジャッ
fight
ジドレッド
13.
おいけるようになりました
So
ね。
with the Roaring Tiger dead, hey look, the dimensional barriers are gone. And we forget pretty quickly what Judge Dredd did. Like, hey, you went like Super Saiyan for a second there. Are you okay? And she's like, yeah, I'm fine. What's up?
Go on.
She's fine.
What are you guys talking about? You guys are crazy.
I'm fine.
っていうやつなんて他のソフトにたらお得ですね。今ね見て
I haven't actually ever.
値段気にしてなかったんだけど
I think the most I've seen
値
is
段見たらお
14.
買い得ですね。
So again,
他はだいたいね
just to reiterate,
7000円とか8000円する中
there's a random
これ
like kind of quote
まあ
random
5000円ですからね。
encounters. They just will randomly show up and take a
ま
place
あ
in
今だ
another
と
monster.
買うって方の方が多いかもしれませんけど
Play a little game of like, ooh, let's see how many.
Yeah, that bear is one other Spirit Knight Eaten monster, and it's.
まあね Steam であって
little rough.
Steam 今ねウェブマネーとか
Little
そういうなんで
encounter ones
す
are
か
actually pretty rough
ビット
just
コイン
because
じゃない
we
ですけど
use
まあ
low beat.
そういうね電子通貨が今全然
We'll be doing million damage on multiple enemies.
Plus
2000円
it's-
付近おー
There's another technique
今から
that
ね買うに
we
も
could
全
have
然
used on them
ありですね。
if we were fighting.
All right,
I mean, the law said she's died to you.
it's fine.
Actually, she said, I'm fine.
The law
いやー結構今日見て自分がまあ起きてる間に見たやつに限ってはですけどやりたいのあるなっていうのはちらほら
So this is
あ
a
ったので
trek up a mountain. And
ぜひ
it's
やってみたい
a
な
little
って思います
mazy.
ね。これもそうだし
And it's kind of can be a little confusing to navigate just because you're going up a snow mountain and it's a
ゼノ
little-
ブレイ
it's
ド
very easy to get yourself
It's a
lost.
very big area.
ボイスアク
Big. These look the same. Right?
Oop,
So
wrong
take it.
direction.
油断しないでです仕方ないわ
Certain point it's faster to just quickly
Yeah,
fox zone than try to.
Unless you're really trying to conserve your fog stones for some
Right,
reason.
which we're definitely not. We have
60
extra.
some.
If you have the MP and
course.
healing
日々
items,
の片付ける
well, MP healing items, ethers, and you can one-shot
先
things,
を急ぎましょう
sometimes it can be beneficial to try and get combo power on Cyclone, but
It would take time, and it's definitely not.
Yeah.
guaranteed.
It's not
That's-
really worth
if I
it.
can make
やっぱり
this-
日本語いや英語の方が多いですね。
He's
ボイスアク
always a guy.
まあ上にあった今ねゼ
Same
ノブレイ
family
ド
as the Walloompas at the
Wii
end.
のゼノブレイドですね。あっちの
Very
方が
large and just have a huge hitbox.
まあどちらの言
depending
語
on
が
what
いいかっ
drops
ていう
you
のがあっ
get
てね。
and whether you decide to farm things.
1のやっぱり英語がやっぱり
Sometimes
1
getting combo power can
で
be a little
日
bit
本語
more
が2位になって
beneficial,
ます
but
ね。
we're pretty stacked to
Oh,
the
hey.
teeth.
Hello.
Another owl. All the owls,
I think we're at 6 or 7 at this point.
at least.
I'm sure Luna's counting.
I hope so.
Probably.
And as I mentioned in my earlier run, I can't. Why am I doing this guy? I can't count past 3. Jeez. Why did I try to go left?
ガンガン行こう。
Madness.
先を急ぎましょう。
Counting is hard in English, as Wanzig will tell you.
敵さんのお出ましだぜ。力を貸すと。これぐらいでやられる俺じゃないぜ。
And we're just basically making our way through, and this is a really large area.
まあ日本語配信側としてはね、
Fights
日
is
本語で
possible,
あ
because
の
there isn't actually much else to do here that we're not
やってくれると非常にありがたいんですけどね。
As far as
何言ってるか分かるから
sort
ね
of
すぐね。
these quote-unquote random encounters that are just scattered all over the place, we only really need one more for a drop, and that's
And
we're
after,
almost there.
Yeah, after we get that drop, we're really just.
There's no
Running
point
away
to
from
fighting
どこに
it.
向かってるんでしょうね。
This one like to trick you. There's a save point, like there's gonna be a boss here,
They get you.
and then there's not.
So that's well done by them.
A series of cutscenes
They,
will play.
they do
Yeah.
this pretty well.
Said cutscene.
Look at the last lands. We're there, guys. We're
もうなん
there.
かこの雪の中を歩いた感じも結構リアルで、
How are we gonna get there?
いいですね、これね。
By the way,
Well then.
obligatory floating continent.
ちゃんと雪歩ってたよみたいな
That
演出がちゃん
airship
とできて
blew
るん
up
で。
earlier.
Yeah, so this is gonna be tricky. There's supposed to be a stretch of land that we could just walk over there, but for whatever reason, there's not anymore. Yeah, and even the doctor isn't sure. The doctor has known everything this run. Like, hey, just listen to me. I'll get
人
you.
が消えましたが、
Doctor was so confused, she just disappeared.
Judge Dredd. Oh man, I wanted to protect the law. You decided to attack Judge Dredd.
Must kill the law.
The last time
Get
the
back the law. Oh, okay, she
Oh.
just punched herself.
the last time the doctor did that, it was on a beach.
Does this mean we get a new doctor? Will she look different?
あ、すごいなんか雪が積もって戻るみたいなちゃんと演出もあるんだ。すごいわ。
Which one do you think it'll be?
So
なんかすごいちゃんと細かいこととかもこだわりがあるんだなっていうのをね、やっぱ見てると。
the law has
Yeah.
jury and like, hey, I'll get through this. This is the first time we kind of see her, like, kind of. So we kind of have to pick her up and be like, look, we can.
Trust your
Surrender?
instincts. Use the boost to get through.
Oh.
おう、
Do a barrel roll.
力を貸すと。終わりだな。
No, wait, straight down, don't I? No.
Nope. You were right the first time.
Left.
Left.
Left again.
Yep. Go straight down in the next couple drops. Not this one though.
Luckily, there are some.
これなんだろう。まあ、基本的にやっぱ戦闘は RPG は逃げますね。
Go back and like. These little shortcuts.
It's probably the most beneficial.
Yeah,
of
like
all the
we go
shortcuts.
from like the. There'll be 2 shortcuts we can take in this next area.
You'll basically get to the beginning.
I avoid these guys. Hug the wall. Hug the wall. Always pretty close.
That crab was coming for you.
Unfortunately, we can't take this shortcuts on the way up. That would be really great.
うん。
Cheering party, but
やっぱりシステムがクロノトリガーっていうことで、
Be fair.
壁際を
They probably
走りますね、やっぱね。
They're like ice climbing
We were
shoes.
supposed to get an airship like 2 hours ago. Okay.
But you have to climb on the airship. Like there's a. It's cold and snowy. It's gonna be a really slippery mess.
So who do you? You're just gonna talk to an old lady. She'll.
Grandma will fix you back
Yeah.
up.
Yep.
こういう選択肢ってエ
Okay, so
ンデ
we
ィン
kind
グ
of
分岐したりする
the
もんですか
law
ね
is pepped up again. Good. We need the law to be happy and you know, back to being the law we all know and love.
And the law is almost useful.
The law is going to be starting to be used pretty quickly here. I would
Speaking
say
of
Couple more
pretty
fights.
quickly, yeah.
we
Not
have
this
a,
quickly, but
we have a little bit, maybe 10 minutes for the Luminaire cutoff, probably. Is
again.
that? This is
Okay, we'll
Okay,
do
I
a
got this.
we'll do a refresh pretty soon here for that.
right back in.
Yeah.
Those pop-ups will go away. So I'll try to just do a really careful job of not touching this.
Yeah, no.
Weird looking guy looking for some spriteness, and then we put our heads together and be like, it's probably that weird shipwright guy. And hey, if he's doing some stuff that might be something involved.
Do you think the ship right can fix the ship we left?
I mean, he doesn't make
I-
any sense.
Did you? These puns?
What?
Yeah, you are.
No, no. I'm.
It's like ignoring them.
Yeah.
Ah, man.
Man, this is basically just another big story dump.
I mean, a little bit. So they'll tell us, hey, we need. And you may be wondering around an area filled with monsters. Well, don't worry. The game has you covered. He actually says that he covered himself in feces to make himself smell bad, so the monsters just leave him alone.
Hence the sort of pigpen effect on his
Yeah.
Yep.
character model.
We
some
can't
some
do
plot
that.
holes don't need to be filled.
Become Pigpen and no monsters want to eat you.
Why-
Or hide in a tent full of fruit. That apparently also works.
Why can't we do that for the speedrun?
We have tents. We just gotta put them up.
Metal Gear Setsuna or Metal Gear The Law.
敵さんのお出ましだぜ
Does-
何もないこれぐらいでや
So
られ
as
る
they were
俺じゃ
mentioning,
ないぜ
incentive for this Burning Finger at $58, Jeff at $26, Shining Finger at $10, and Taiho at me want. Get your money.
Yeah. It'll be, I mean, depending on what we get, we might have a little bit of fun with it. Depending on what sort of references you can make us do.
Might. We definitely have nothing prepared.
Did
at all.
you get the?
I have nothing prepared.
Did you end up getting the kill for the
He does it on the
I
way back,
usually do.
yeah.
it.
Okay.
Okay. So this will be another part I save. Gonna get the law back in my party. I'm going to heal.
Why
don't
do we
need
even
any
bother
healing.
getting her back in the party for these fights?
I do it for safety, but I am going to need your help for something other than text mashing.
Oh yeah.
We got a neat little trick coming up, and it's
Oh.
I can't believe I did that. I hate that.
Oh, did
when
you forget I talked to the thing?
So
Or-
there's a
yeah.
cutscene that I quote unquote skipped, and it's really frustrating because
You can just kind of go past
you
it.
can
yeah.
kind of go past it and not even realize that you skipped
Yeah, I
it.
wasn't paying attention. I figured it happened.
So I have to go back and make sure to hit it, or else I can't continue. Oh, there's what 8.
We gotta get more owls. It's fine. Forty is not too far of a run, but it's definitely time loss.
It's just in that.
Other way.
I can do this.
You should be fine, yeah.
Mm,
Unless that one decides
Yeah.
it hates you.
not worth.
monsters do like to troll you sometimes, and
You well spread out.
yeah.
Everybody guard the exit. Annoying, because all it's doing is characters correctly put together, hey, isn't that the same crest that Judge?
And also,
I see. It even like doesn't let you leave it do that.
Yeah, like it forces you like, hey, you have to watch this cutscene, but you can only watch. It only forces you to watch this cutscene if you see the first cutscene.
Yep.
So all I did was cut over the cross because I'm trying to go fast here, and I just didn't get close enough. Trigger and missed it. It's not the first time I've done that.
Yeah, me either.
I think I once forgot to talk to the shipwright.
When it initially going through.
Yeah.
That'll do it.
What's the menu button? 1?
J.
Owl.
J. Right.
Yeah,
Pause.
you
is
can, I
one.
mean, you can test it out now.
Yep. Okay. Cool.
So there's
Should've saved there.
this is going to be a menu trick coming up, and this is probably the only quote-unquote glitch of the run. And we're basically going to pause the game during a particular part where it typically doesn't want us to. And hopefully we can get it. It's unfortunately a little inconsistent. I only need to save once. It'll make the next boss fight, though, quite a bit easier if we manage
Much
to get it.
easier.
I do have a new setup, like kind of a backup if we don't get it, but still very much easier, much more consistent if together with the power of cooperation, we can do it together.
So yeah, in most of the fights where you have like a chance to change party before going into the fight, you can try to just spam the menu button. I was actually able to do it before the fights when you lose Kier. I was able to pull it
Yeah,
off.
there's like a small transition time between like, okay, you're having like a dialogue or some sort of cutscene, and then a fight's starting. There's a small window where sometimes they'll let you get a menu off in there. I mean, it's probably like a frame, quote unquote, a frame or 2 frames or some very small window that we have, and all we really are just going to be doing is just mashing the pause at a particular point. All right, but I have some backups in case we don't get it. One of the backups is putting the law in my party, because we'll have 3 forced encounters and then followed by a boss fight. So ideally, I want everybody, or at least bad breaks, to be fully healed up before the boss fight. But I have to get through these fights, so I'm gonna have to use a bunch of MP. Because while blow beat's really good, it still is really expensive.
Yep.
So last fight, before I blow beat, I'm going to
Ether up, yeah.
Ether. It's right here. You notice that the law is always starting first. She has a weapon that makes her start the fight with full ATB. Pretty nice. Pretty nice. All right. Don't do it yet.
Yeah.
So you can like kind of quote unquote soft lock the game if you do that menu trick I mentioned too early.
I did not know that.
Did you not? I found this out like the day before I left for the marathon. So
The doctor has regenerated and returned.
I guess so. So the doctor is going to join our party, and we're going to get into a party menu. So I'll let you know when I'm about to exit. So once I exit, we're going to try to pause here. So 3, 2, 1. Oh, we did it.
Yay.
So
Yeah,
I'm
it's
able
been
to
a
go
while.
in here, use a heal bean stew. I'm able to heal everybody up. I'm able to. Ooh, I actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was gonna say something.
That glitch is a direct reference to Chrono Trigger, by the way.
Yeah,
I-
that's true.
I guess
This
that's
is
true.
a similar glitch is used in Chrono Trigger.
Where is?
You
Oh, there
just
it
got
is.
pushed with it.
Oh, I was like, where did he go? So I'm gonna blow beat
And slow.
and slow, and this guy's
Nice.
super susceptible to paralyze. Seems to last a really long time.
Yeah, he just sits there and does nothing until it wears off.
That's what we want because he has some really frustrating moves. He loves healing himself up when he gets below half HP.
He can put a healing, like a heal over time on himself, or he can just do a one-time heal for 999. It's really annoying.
And he has 4,000 or so HP. And it takes a while to kill him, but it lasts long enough that it's not a big deal.
Some ATB boosting. Gonna be doing nothing with Nadir. Or, sorry.
Green Oron. Mostly because ideally he doesn't do anything anyway.
できる
And by the time he does do stuff, he's going to be at an HP level where he's probably going to heal.
もう怖いものは何もない
Don't
I think
run
you're
out.
fine, but just
Yeah,
in case.
just to be safe.
Yeah.
It doesn't really take any time, really.
よし
I should have.
Waited for momentum.
Oh, he's awake.
Yeah, you shouldn't have done that extra
yeah.
slow, I think. So he's gonna heal for a bit here, but it should be fine. We got a momentum and then another one.
Do another ether just so that my damage is a little bit higher. Because again, damage tied to HP and MP.
はい
よしこれで戦況を変えてやる
Not quite. Probably
No,
should be one
no.
more.
As long as he doesn't heal again.
Huddle is good because it
Does heal a
heals, but
bit.
it doesn't heal immediately.
Yeah.
はい
It's a
So
regenerate type ability.
これで
Yeah, it's
戦況
now
を変え
the
てやる
heal
not
overtime,
ideal.
but we'll take it.
Complete drop.
It's okay, I'll drop all the items that he's dropped before,
先を急
which is none.
It gives us another copy of that.
Oh, yeah. For all that money we need to spend.
So two less could have been at 2 turns faster.
Yep.
Not super bad, and that fight can go much worse if you don't get the menu trick off. You do a bit less damage. My damage still seemed to be a little on the low side. I'm trying to. Usually I remember doing like consistently 700 at least. I could just be remembering incorrectly.
So, yeah,
Could
that's
just
how
be
it's
low
hard for me.
damage rolls as
It
well.
could be too. Some damage rolls are a little. Have
Big.
some big.
And to get
variance
to
in them.
higher damage, it gets more random.
Yeah, let's not forget to talk to the children again,
And also the researcher.
and also the researcher.
Yeah.
But I think both of us have forgot each one of those once at least.
I
So
usually don't
just
forget the children, but I've forgotten the researcher, definitely.
cutscenes we
And
have
IP.
to make sure to get. They sing a lovely song for us. It's pleasant, so I guess we'll just listen along.
Yep. This is that second break.
「Are we dancing?"
'Shoutouts to the Japanese restream.
I wonder how accurately translated that.
It's pretty accurate.
Okay. So right now we're trying to dissect the children's song, like saying, "Hey, is it some sort of puzzle riddle thing that will get us to where we want to go?" Basically, it hints out that there might be something related to an airship in the ruins. Well, we figured that out by listening to the song, talking to this researcher guy. It's like, "Hey,
By
have
the
you
way,
heard this children's song before? It might mean something. Something about a bird. The bird is a metaphor.
The bird is the word.
The bird is a metaphor for being a jerk."
Yep. That is exactly what the bird is for.
But unfortunately, we need
Hello,
Judge Dredd.
Pixel
Yeah, so
Cat
researchers
phrase
said,
and
like, "Hey, you
yeah, some
press like relating
some-
to the royal family."
some English speaker is there, but
The last
here is
line
just
of
for focus on
she
the
went a little,
Japanese stream.
something Super Saiyan or
Yeah, if we want to try
this
to write
overtake.
down on English,
So
sorry,
we're
in
talking
Japanese,
about
you
okay, guy,
you
what-
can try it here.
And they basically tell us that okay, she ate some monster meat.
So
Which apparently is
if
really
you
bad.
if you
and
just
mo-
talk
for
about
most
just
of the
only
time,
English,
straight
then
up,
you
see?
you should go to
But
the
since Judge Dredd is such a strong
RPG Limited
individual,
Break channel,
instead of
then
killing her, it just makes her kind of go
do the chat.
lose control of herself and like the monster takes over. So we need to figure out how to heal that
Yeah.
so we can, get him over to
Yeah, it's a good chance
Eventually
to
she turns
try.
into a monster.
Yeah, it's good. It's good opportunity to try
I would
Japanese
say
using
5
Japanese. So
minutes, or a little somewhere
You
in
can
that
try it.
range in terms of the Luminaire bit war.
We'll let you know.
So I have a few minutes left.
I cut it off at the start of the fight.
That's probably a good point.
Don't forget, you had to do it.
I had to do it. It was shiny. I couldn't resist. I don't even know what it was. I think it was an onion.
Sunset Crown, I believe is what it said.
Oh,
Don't forget to get the
oh yeah.
item.
Yeah, well, I'll do it this fight. That's a lot of guys in there. That's a lot of XP. So I'm gonna get a time kill on one of these dudes, the shroomback.
Yeah, thank
the
you.
Weird monkey
ありがとうご
guys
ざい
with,
ます。
mushrooms growing on gaps, appropriately named. As you remember, Plopi does more damage when things are close to each other. A lot of combo power and shock, which
漢字わかりません。
useful for us.
まあそうですね。So
Really
yeah.
unfortunate, but we don't really use a lot
Yeah,
of
if
cycling
you
outside the boss.
if you understand hiragana or katakana is, I think
Which unfortunately we don't.
the
have
level,
shop
the
for.
first level is
Check it out,
enough.
Judge Fred's
Then
Not
the kanji is a later one. So
Her followers sort of sealed her there.
if you can use
Write it down
use
for
Japanese
now.
fluently
At least they put her
in
in front of
using
the ruins for us.
by hiragana or katakana, then
力を貸す
the
これぐらいでやられる俺じゃないぜ
the study of the kanji is begin.
Could have picked that up. I didn't. I was
See,
thinking of
you can resist the urge.
Just like Judge Dredd, you need to resist the beast within.
I can't.
Yeah, I write down just a song then, but the translation is quite something.
I get it.
You just like the noise it makes.
走ってないですね。
Super hard
走らない
boss fight. Let's save. Super,
マッ
super
プを
hard.
歩いている。
Just in case.
I mean, I've seen it happen.
Stranger things have happened.
Stranger things have happened.
I have seen someone actually die to this.
I have seen someone die to this.
I missed that one, but apparently it's
It
happened.
really shouldn't happen, but
No. You have to
とりあえ
be
ず
fairly negligent to
私自身コメントすることが
so
このゲームに
we're
対
going
しては
to go back
ない
and say
ので
that to you, the human. Be like,
ない
"Look,
のでちょっと
the way to
黙って
cure
ますけどね。
This thing, Judge Dredd. How can we do it? Well, there's a spell I can teach you. What's the name of the spell? We don't know yet.
You'll have to tell us.
You'll have to tell us eventually. Not quite yet. We'll cut off the bidding in just a few seconds here.
All right.
So,
So very, very last
last
chance.
minute,
If you're very fast.
very
yeah,
fast.
with Twitch delay it
Which, by the time
Yeah.
Twitch delay happens, yeah.
Yeah.
We'll give them a few
very
extra
fast.
seconds then. We'll give like maybe 5 seconds after the fight starts. So
All right. I'll hit refresh
I
at
can
that.
start. After the first heal, let's go with that.
yeah, after the first, that's good. That's good.
So you're basically you just have to survive a certain number of rounds while
Eight-
she blasts
8
you with
lightnings.
lightnings.
8 lightning twos.
ここは生き
And
残る。
these can crit,
These can crit.
but thankfully one crit will
Okay.
not kill you
Cut it off. No more donations.
All right.
for that bid war.
基本的にこ
Please
こは
still
まあ
continue donating.
Oh yeah.
Please,
耐える
please
イベン
just
ト
It
だ
was
と思う
that
ので
Specific one.
You can
We're
put
very
it all
close to
to
25.
the final boss form.
So each of these are just going to do 100 damage.
So
If
it's ne-
Sayagi does crit, which you probably won't see. It does 100.
Yeah, and English
So as
name
long as
is
it's just like two
I am
back-to-back
Setsuna.
crits and I
The
can
Japanese
collect it
name
with
is
That's the only way we can.
いけにえと雪のセツナ。So
She can also miss. If she
She can
misses
also miss.
twice, you can not heal once and
Yeah,
save
you can,
that
like,
little bit of time.
Get a little lucky.
I haven't seen it yet.
I think it's-
英語だとなんて訳せばいいんだろうねこれ。
I think 1 minute, but not 2.
We do have a $25 donation from Defect Mechanism. Never played this
Saf-
before, but so long, it looks-
Simplification
sounds
of
amazing. This goes towards the final forms.
Yeah,
I'm sorry,
Japanese
but-
title to
Yeah, so
translate
nothing
in
new
English,
for-
then sacrification of
So we'll have
刹那
Burning Finger.
Burning
Burning
Fingers.
Thank you for your donations.
who is
towards-
from
you'll need
Sonoran
to
something.
find on the, we'll have to truncate the name
Sure.
a little bit, I believe. So we'll get a second.
It's 12 letters. It should be fine. GR.
At the end.
We'll
あちょっと違うね訳がね。
Is it FINGR?
FINGR.
Okay.
The windows are covered, so we can't really look to the skies in the east.
So,
生贄と雪が同じか。
to the sprite nets. So we're gonna put on Luminaire, and hey, look, do you want to change something? Sure.
Now it is Burning Finger.
Burning Finger.
Let
So
the Burning Fingering connect.
we'll have something a little. For those of you who don't know, I believe what this is referring to is a particular move in is it Mobile Suit
G Gundam.
G Gundam, yeah.
時間だ。
Very kind of poor dubbing that a lot of people tend to make fun of. Ridiculous when it,
その前後全然聞いてなかっ
but
た。
particularly in English when it came over here, it was quite comedically bad. Don't need to do this right now, but might as well.
Doesn't hurt.
So when exactly are we gonna do the thing? And are you gonna join in, Freddie? Or
Oh,
is
you
it-
guys got this.
Oh, okay.
It's all
okay.
yours. They're gonna do a thing.
We're going to do a thing.
A thing, not the thing.
A thing.
So we have to go over here and so the reason we got Burning Finger was to heal Judge Dredd. So I'll have to use Burning Finger on Judge Dredd. A nice little cutscene. How do we want to do this?
I just lost the game, by the way.
Right on, right when it starts casting. Want to do
Sure.
a countdown? Okay. All right, 3, 2, 1.
This hand of mine is burning red.
Its
loud roar tells me to grasp victory. Erupting, burning finger.
そういうことか。そういうことか。ここのシーンがね。ここのシーンがね。
I mean,
It
pretty
does.
much.
It really does.
Pretty much. In terms
ド
of
モンの
like
セリフ
what
ですね。
Burning Finger does in terms of a spell.
多
If
分
you're
ね。
familiar with Luminaire from Chrono Trigger. AoE light-based damage. This also has the effect, they gave it a little bit of restorative properties too, that it like supposed to like draw bad from monsters and like heal your allies, so it hurts enemies, heals your team. It also
Pretty useful.
it
違う
also
って
has
そうい
the
う
nice
ことだ
little
ったん
thing
だね
of。making a triple
い
tech.
きなり G ガンダム何言ってんだろうと思ったけど。
We get our first triple tech now, and you'll get to see that in the next. Pretty much throughout the rest of the run.
なるほどね。
In place of X Strike, we're going to be using a Grand Cross. Has both
いやまさ
light
か
and
のあの
dark
セリフを
elemental properties to it.
イベントで言うの
Hits a bunch.
言うのと思った。
Has good chance of critting. Yeah, just generally pretty useful.
Yeah.
Oh, I forgot to do something.
The reason it's so useful too is because of
Guys. What did I forget to buy during the run?
Oh, Battle Cry. Yeah.
Battle Cry. Should I go and get that?
that's
Do we
Don't
want to
be
do it
greedy.
without it?
you probably
Up to you.
should.
I probably should. Good job.
Contribution to the route. I
ちょっと音が止まっちゃいましたね。
Yeah. Battle Cry's particular. It's
いやまあ
basically
ちょっと面白かったですね。
basically going to be raising all your stats. And it raises them a lot. So for the next boss fight, we're going to be basically bypassing an HP. The items for Battle
Your timing with getting the items throws off my thinking of it for some
Yeah.
reason. Like it's doesn't
I
even make
get
sense.
it on the, you'd get it on the way and then buy it here before.
But
so
this is
cheap.
like so.
I don't
so
even
long.
buy it here like anymore. I just like think about it when I get it. Really.
But going back to Luminaire, the momentum effect also gives you auto raise.
You have to sell stuff because you haven't sold
Oh,
the
yeah,
thing.
I
yet.
haven't sold the thing.
You can sell it there, I guess. Technically.
So fast.
ちょうどあれも俺やればよかったな。
That's
Ne.
And so we will be using
一応わかるからね。
the,
俺のこの手がって言
re-raise
う
or auto life
一
or
緒に
whatever
ね。
you want to call it.
It's particularly useful in a few situations where like, this is scary, I don't want to die. It's okay, we have auto revive.
Yep.
That's a property of Luminaire, or sorry, Burning Finger.
まだ言ってるバーニングフィンガーみたいな感じだ。
I think I got a little too excited about the Burning Finger that I forgot about it. I'll blame that.
真っ赤に燃える
Forgetting
って。
about things.
ね。俺のこの手が光ってうなるっつって。お前を頼る。
Okay,
顔す
back
る
on
輝きか。
Yep, I,
So we're entering the ruins that
輝き叫べっつって
Judge Dredd opened.
And these are the same palette as the other ones.
Yep.
pretty,
それをやれって
pretty similar setup. There will be
やればよかっ
kind
た。
of a unique
一緒
little
に。
thing about this walkthrough.
Yes.
I think we'll just keep it straightforward. Have no sort of shenanigans.
バーニングっつったからあっちか。
Basically,
もっ
we're
と
gonna
後の方
be
か。
quizzed
確か。
on what it takes to be a king.
確かに言ってる。確か何話だ
Because
け言っ
it's
てた
supposed to
よ
be
ね
like。a testing grounds. Only the worthy can
だっけ後半確かそう言ってんだよね。
questions.
すぐに片付けるわ
That's a
やばい、 G
unknown
が
figure is
あん
gonna
ま
be
り
asking us, and
覚えて
if
な
we
い。
get it
ど
wrong,
うしよう。
then it's a time loss. That's really all it
Quite a
is.
bit actually.
All right, we have a $50 donation here from Teletran1. I'm old enough to have played Chrono Trigger in college, and the entire series, Trigger
Well, yeah,
Cross,
but-
Radical Dreamers, is my favorite. We even named one of our cats Kyra. I have heard of people comparing I Am Setsuna to the Chrono series, but I think that's missing the point. It's a beautiful, sad game that stands out on its own. Thank you for running the game for RPG Limit Break, and I hope this exposes it to a larger audience. Thank you for supporting Nami and all the good work you do. Please put my donation to fighting the final form Samsara.
今 紹介あれですね、ドネーションしメッセージ付きのドネーションを今読んでます。
Thank you
Thank
very
you and
much.
continue your work on Cybertron.
So we're
Cybertron.
gonna get quizzed here, and I'm gonna probably ask Freddie.
あれかな、
So
オプティマスプライム
we're
が
gonna get quizzed.
ドネーションしたの
This
かな。
quiz, if a king gives a ring to a peasant, is that basically just so the peasant can sell the ring? Let our minds be as one. No, that is not just. A better king would find some way to make the peasant not need to sell random stuff from the king and make life good for all the peoples.
Yeah, I somehow managed to get all of these right.
今ちょうちょ止
It's
まっ
like
ちゃうな。
getting them wrong threw you back. I thought
Because
I just
like this is the only
yeah.
port in the run where your decisions actually,
actually
make
matter.
a
Yeah.
considerable difference.
Yeah.
Other than that, it's just dialogue difference, and like maybe you'll see some things a little differently. But it'll
Another owl.
Yeah.
It'll only be like maybe a few seconds difference in
At
very
most.
few locations. This would probably cost us maybe a minute if we got.
You get sent
Setsuna.
back to
Oh,
the
that's interesting. I've never seen her fly during battle like that. So
Yeah, it's because
sometimes
she was kind of up and
yeah.
running.
Let's see if she stays like that.
I don't think so.
Oh no. So if someone the bridge as you're rotating it, sometimes they get tossed up into the air. As it doesn't do anything. I tried to see if there's like some or some maybe I could like get around some certain locations. It just looks funny. That's all.
There are a few. I don't know if they're glitches necessarily, but some visual bugs maybe. But they don't have any actual impact other than we had the invisible way back in Flanea.
Did I? No, I need to.
Yep, that one first.
Yeah, this one first. So sometimes you
Pay attention to the
forget,
last one.
forget which bridge is to activate when.
Mushroom,
あ
mushroom.
なたなら私でも平気だよ
To the left.
Okay, so this question is going to be, look. It's supposed to be a girl from Orbit, but wait, thou must not be deceived. The woman before you is no woman but a monster. So we
What?
have to decide: is she a monster or is she a woman?
Is she a monster? Is she?
Yeah,
Stop
the
lying.
lady's like, hey, I don't want to die, please.
And if you are paying attention, we rescued her from the cave,
Okay.
from the Carbosaurus beetle.
No doubt, Bad Breaks, who has decided against the murder of the sacrifice, will also understand.
You can't murder the law.
So, interestingly enough, like, Judge Dredd is always, I know what the answer is, but let's see what Bad Breaks' answer is. She definitely doesn't wait for Bad Breaks to answer first.
Nope. It's the mark of a true
True King,
King,
just,
yep.
yeah. I mean, it kind of
have
is.
someone
kind of
answer and
is.
take
They,
credit
and they
yourself.
kind
Yes.
of reference that later.
It's called delegation.
Yeah. So, yes, we're correct. And we have to be a little careful just because even compared to a normal run, we're going through the text so quickly. So we're like, okay, let's
I'm
pause.
just gonna stop doing stuff.
Yeah, like be real careful.
We don't
Maybe
have to worry
you
about
can-
the next time.
Yeah, you can just smash through the rest.
Whoa, you're spoiling. They know you're telling them what the answer is.
They won't be able to see the answer anyway. We're doing it
That's
too
true.
fast.
So the first two questions, it's option number 2, so you have to be careful not to match too fast. But second two options, luckily enough, happens to be option number 1, so we can just mash to our
Otherwise, regular floor. Seriously, get the answer wrong twice in a row.
I'm sure you're.
That counts as a wrong answer? Or
I've never actually done ... I'm guessing it
Me
counts as a
either.
wrong answer.
Yeah,
another.
enough owl already.
One thing I haven't plugged much is that we do have a grand prize for this. That's good for the whole marathon.
Also comes with Breath of the Wild.
Oh, yes.
Did
Yes, it
you
does.
know that this game was recently released on the Switch?
Yes, it
That's
was.
true.
There you go, more incentive.
Version, specifically the Switch version, has a unique added bonus to it. There's a PvP mode on the Switch version where you're able to battle with other people online.
Asynchronously. You set up your team and then...
Yeah, I haven't actually seen
Do
it.
you get that one?
That needs a world game.
Oh, all right. Oh, sorry, we don't get that yet.
So this time it's the mysterious voice saying, "Hey, someone among you is not a human. Who is it?" I don't know, who is it? It's the doctor.
It's the actually
Which,
changed
I
it
mean,
to
it's
the
pretty
doctor.
appropriate.
Yeah.
Doctor technically has a name. So, references to it earlier on, and that you might be able to figure out that it's something with a turn of.
I mean, she did kind of disappear that one time.
Yeah, it disappeared, and then
But maybe I'll try it sometime.
trust.
It'd certainly save on travel.
It would.
Yeah.
Might be
So-
side effects, though.
The mysterious voice was also trying to get the because
We need the doctor.
we need her for
This is going
rest
to
of
be
the
our
day.
party for the rest of the game.
yeah. Just heading
He's
toward the
walking
exit.
right the one direction he could be in the way. Well, one of the.
And after this, taking over the final part of the run, and I'd really like to see the final form Samsara by Freddeh. I'm sure you guys would too. We have a little under an hour before we'll have to, right before the quote-unquote end of the run is when that will be. Oh man.
Too late. It's definitely a fun fight.
Another
Plus,
thing.
we just hit 24,000.
Nice.
Good job, everybody.
Ooh, nice.
Thank you, everybody, for your.
Thanks, High Spirits. Spirits.
How appropriate. High spirits, lifting spirits.
Ah.
But another thing we haven't heard a lot about is the Yeti and their awesome shirts for this marathon.
True.
They have 9 designs.
You know, I forgot to talk about that.
One of them's the design on that shirt right there.
Yeah,
But
RPG
purple.
Limerick is as always, is partnering up with the Yeti. They got 9 T-shirts this year. Head on over to theyeti.com/RPGLimitBreak with the limit break spelled out, and to take a look at the designs. We all got stigma-free T-shirts when we got here, I believe, and the attendee T-shirt is pretty sweet. I think I'm wearing it now. Yes, I am. And then there's other designs you can check out. All the profits go towards the charity.
Yes, for every shirt, we're
$3.
donating $3. That's YETE /RPG Limit Break.
Yeah.
There you go.
All right, so no more quizzes. We
No
know
more
what it takes to be a king.
more
Or does a kingdom need a king? That's the last question.
The oral part of the exam is finished.
There is nothing but
Now
I
the
need to,
physical exam.
put on a new weapon here. I need to make sure to...
put on battle cry.
I did buy it. Really? Or did I buy... I think I actually bought 2.
You might have bought
You happen to press it too? I'm pretty sure I bought 2. We'll have to
You have a
let's-
burning finger on, yes.
Oh, yeah, that's why I'm like looking for Luminary.
Yes.
I don't have Luminary, I have Burning Finger. Alright, so, Malagran, you want to talk about this fight a little bit, since that's your
Sure.
contribution to the run?
So this guy, again, like a lot of other bosses, has sort of a buff he gets at 50%. It basically gets another turn, and with those 2 spells, he can just one-shot a party member, and then you're forever behind trying to raise everyone. You need everyone alive to do lots of damage, and it just goes really poorly. However, with battle, to just bypass that whole phase and not have to worry about it at all.
They should all die.
Yep.
Look at
looks
all,
good.
so many numbers.
All the numbers.
All the numbers. Pop.
It does like 8 hits or something, I think. 8 or 10.
That's a little... I think
It's a little disconcerting, but
let's use
Burning
Burning Finger.
Burning finger. Battle cry.
So now notice it happens to heal me. That's good.
Yep.
Battle Cry. I mentioned it's going to...
That's okay.
This
That's
is
fine.
good.
She has NP still.
I'm going to wait just a second here for the crit.
yeah, the momentum
Really
effect is
close.
guaranteed criticals, which are the red numbers. You saw one of them on the first one.
That's enough.
That
Yeah,
that'll
yes.
do.
Okay, nice.
All right. So that is
Barely, I think.
it for me for the run. I'm going to hand it over to Freddie to finish the last... should be less than an hour.
Let's not get that cut.
Let's be careful. All right. So hey.
You know what? Airships fly. And you know what else flies? Birds.
Paper
I
airplanes.
mean, if we are going by Final Fantasy IX
And I'm really
rules,
Mad at
anything,
that last airship.
anything
that
that
is
flies is a bird.
yeah, anything that flies is a bird. Anything with wings is a bird. This definitely flies.
And they're all jerks. All
And
of them.
It doesn't really have wings though.
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. I'm really mad at that other airship, okay?
If
I'm
it
gonna take it
floats
out on this
without
airship.
wings,
Jerks,
this
yeah.
is the
I'll show you why in a second. Probably. Unless I do it right. The Magnificent.
So
so
I forgot
10
about that.
characters, so RPG Jerk can just get rid of the last guy. I can just do Jerk Bird.
Yeah,
That's fine.
It's fine.
Jerkbird. We want to use that name. Sure, why not? A fitting name indeed.
Time for Jerk Bird to fly.
So now that we have an airship, the world opens up to us, but we pretty much just want to go straight to the last area. But first, we're going to pick up a few chests that are now available to us. So one of the other things we get is called the World Key. And kind of like Chrono Trigger, you have the sealed chests that are locked throughout most of the run. And then towards the end, you can open them. Kind of the same idea. Which do what they sound like. Heal everybody to full HP MP. Some orichalcums, which is something we have yet to talk about. There are upgrading materials to upgrade weapons. And you can actually get every weapon to have the same stats. And then the only thing that would be different is the kind of unique passives that go onto a particular weapon. But it would require a lot of upgrade materials. So we're just going to pick some up that's easy to get. And we're going to save it for the final. Definitely from some other RPG that I'm thinking of.
Yep, we're also picking up some extra Mega Elixirs for the final.
Generally, we're doing that final form, or potentially doing that final form Samsara. You still have some time left. We want to make sure we're prepared for it.
I'm not saying I really want to do it, but I kind of really want to do it.
$5 donation here from Morton20622175. I had to say that all out. Good luck to all the runners. Money goes to Final Form Samsara.
Thank you.
Getting closer.
Getting closer.
Getting closer.
So now we are finally at the last lands. Castle. So we're a town with a castle.
It'll be a little bit of a maze.
The sort of outside bit should look familiar.
Indeed, it should. It's basically the same town, except
it's a castle town.
Yep.
So there's the town, and then you go straight, and then you get to the castle.
Oh,
Yeah,
jerk birds.
Yeah.
All the jerk birds.
jerk angels.
Jerk moose, goat with horns.
This.
Oh.
So
Those guys are really annoying because
Yeah, the dinosaurs are
yeah.
not fun to
Move. I believe it's Meteor. Not even Meteor. They actually left it as Meteor, just obviously referencing Final Fantasy IV.
all the
advised.
Is that something the dinosaurs can do? The Meteor.
the meteor.
That's really interesting that it's a revenge move from a dinosaur.
Well, I mean, what killed the dinosaurs? Maybe the dinosaurs.
The
Meteor didn't
dinosaurs
kill-
killed themselves.
Could be.
With meteor. One died and then a chain reaction started.
There you
It
go.
was terrible. Terrible, terrible time in the history of the world.
So Judge Dredd is happy to be home.
A terrible time.
Really upset with you. We're still upset.
It's not like I'm referencing a name or an upcoming bid war.
Nope,
or-
not at all. Don't worry about it.
So this is pretty much just a straight up maze, and each room is really identical to another. So it's pretty easy to get lost if you don't know where you're going.
Not much of a maze.
I mean,
It's
there's
just harder to find.
multiple paths you can go, and it's because every room is a cube next to another cube, or square rather.
Oh,
Ah,
I
geez.
すぐに
Trying to
が
thread the needle.
got greedy.
ここで終わるわ
A little bit. And after this first set of stairs, we take a little detour.
There'll be a good sword that we get. Not I think Patrick's best sword, but certainly the best
But,
one that we can.
one of the best swords, yeah.
Certainly the best.
Yeah, technically not, but
And technically, every sword can be the best sword. It's just that based on how much you. And the
So
reason
anyway-
why we haven't, you can buy certain upgrade materials, but like and they won't actually add too much, so we'd have to buy a bunch
Yeah.
of them.
Like they cap at a certain amount of.
Get much when you
こ
upgrade.
のくらいなら私で
and
も
I believe you can't buy them until very, very late, if at all.
I mean, you can only find orichalcums once you have the world key. I don't think you can buy them. Maybe post game you can, or in certain areas. Like I want to say you can.
Owl.
Another owl.
Probably be our last one.
You
We'll
say
see.
that.
I say that. I
but
say that.
Yeah.
We have
There's
a
gonna be like
whole
5
big
more.
other area.
Yeah, they're
That's
actually
true.
kind of nice because they tend to have a small hitbox. So
Yeah.
it takes easier to get around the fights.
ここで終わるわけにはいかない。
このくらいなら私でも平気だよ。
There's the stairs. The last one before the stairs again. Floors here.
A little bit of story from Jeff. He wants
Character growth.
He wants to come to the Last Lands because there's supposed to be a really good library here, and maybe he can find something about his people's condition, about them having a really short life.
He seems surprised that Judge Dredd would help, but
Yeah.
like, oh, we're
Dredd upholds the law.
Judge Dredd hasn't done too much this run, to be fair.
that worked better than I expected. That dodge specifically. Nope, no, I can get it. I can get it.
No.
Ah, snakes.
You got greedy.
I mean,
It wasn't that much.
he
Less
took like a second there.
Yeah.
A second.
Yeah. The rainbow here, and stay in that menu, and use the orichalcum.
So he Rainbow Sword, obviously
Use
being a reference to Chrono Trigger, has the property of having a really high crit rate. I don't think it's what Chrono Trigger has. I don't think it's quite that high. It's still pretty good though. It's pretty good.
And with the amount of hits on Grand Cross, it really makes a difference.
It will carry over to Grand Cross.
Tends to give you a lot of crits.
Did you save?
Yes.
Okay.
I definitely.
So we do have a boss coming up here. I mean, there's a save point. There's a boss. Like, you guys have
Like
seen
the
enough to know
usual,
how that works.
Except for that one mountain.
They get you.
Every time.
So, Reaper 4, this guy is so cool. He's sitting on the throne nonchalantly. He's not even going to take a step towards us.
He's just gonna.
He's just going to teleport 2 feet. Okay. Well, I need to get a little closer to you guys. I'm gonna teleport again.
To be fair, I'd do that too if I could.
Okay, let's get a little closer.
I mean, he uses a scythe, like.
And then again.
All of
Steps
them.
are
I'm
too
coming
much for
to
him.
you. Okay. So this is a tough fight.
Hard fight.
Oh, we got one.
You're actually. Oh, a miss is a little.
Yeah.
Okay, the miss made
This
it so
could-
that I mean, it's not going to be bad. It's just going to be.
The doctor will finish.
The miss made it so it wasn't a one-hit kill. But genuinely, it's a one-hit kill.
Yeah.
Why didn't it give us any XP though? Shouldn't. I mean, it's a
weird.
boss. It gives us XP, right?
I mean, this is an FF. This is FF12.
Something's happening.
It's okay. We have a second boss still. The slightly
second
harder
boss.
version.
He's
Yes.
going all Judge Dredd on us.
That miss. I think this is also going to
Look
be a
at
miss.
the sides there.
You could
just,
technically.
Oh
by
yeah,
the-
that sometimes will happen. Not always, where the characters will put through the walls. I don't know why.
Yeah.
It's a random chance. Definitely not.
I'm gonna wait for him to do something.
That wasn't ideal.
That was
But
why I waited.
見せてあげる。
ここで終
Quick
わる
battle cry to do this a bit faster.
so if you want to be really, but the problem with that is if it doesn't go like if you get trolled with a miss or two, or no crits like this, like if you get a miss and no crits,
Oh,
we
yeah.
got it.
After a battle cry, it's pretty much
Yeah.
guaranteed.
Battle cry, like
先
we're
生の
battle cry.
Without light bit and battle cry, it's usually guaranteed. But yeah. So he does another revenge move at the end. So and he usually has quite a bit of AOE moves on top of it. So if you you usually get stuck in kind of a loop until you can finish.
Quite a few. A lot. Stout sheep pretty much tend to be, okay, you want to make sure the things die fast because they'll kill you fast.
Well, I'm really stun them.
If paralyze wasn't a thing.
Like this Formic, or not
More
the tiger.
Yeah, Formic, yeah.
So, we finally got rid of Reaper.
And enter
Won't
the
be
final
bothering us anymore. This is the entrance, so we're going to talk to the doctor and be like, look, you know more than we do. Tell us about what's going on. So there's going to be exposition, then going through each floor. There's a few things we will
Mostly safety.
Mostly safety. As if we're doing that final form Samsara, that'd be and they aren't really that. They don't take long to get.
Owl? Like I said, more owls.
Yeah, I said that one last.
Nope.
The one
Jerk
before was going to be the last one. Sorry, guys. I lied. So luckily, even like we're still trying to get preemptives, even if we're getting to a fight that we're trying to avoid, because Setsuna has, or sorry, the law has a particular weapon that.
I feel like this isn't the right one, but
Yeah,
no, it was.
yeah.
I think it's not the first one.
Yeah, first floor and then I think third floor.
Yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
We'll start off the battles with full ATB. So really, we could be running through this area with the law at 1 HP, and it would be like this menu and failed to. I've done that a few times before.
Yeah.
Gone through this section with like one person with 1 HP. The law at 1 HP.
Fine. The law got this.
So we don't have for the final form incentive.
There'll be one more boss fight.
Pretty much go until I start killing the first statue.
Yeah. Well, there's going to be they're going to have a fight, and then at that point it's going to be pretty close to cut off.
Guys, get your money in for the final form of some. Let me just check. I lost my place.
Jerk bird. Hey.
All right,
anti-jerk bird.
we are $215.16 out of 500, so we will need some help if we want to make it before the cutoff period here.
Let's get Freddeh to do that.
I have
A time or two. We'll have time for definitely a few attempts. This is actually I'm kind of really impressed with how well we're doing.
Yeah.
Like all the fights have gone pretty well. Stout Sheep could have gone a little bit better, but other than that, it's pretty.
Mostly us forgetting stuff.
Mostly us forgetting stuff because we're having fun.
Because
with
we're half
Burning
asleep
Finger.
having fun and. How's that piano going there?
I can't play the piano. I'll pretend to.
Best of them. Okay, fine. Just be like, nope, I'm gonna block your way. It's always faster to focus on than wait for them to move
And
again.
in case you didn't notice, and you can, it's particularly easy to notice now. Weapons actually do change like your model inside and outside of battle. So you can actually see that is a rainbow sword.
That's right.
And if
Does that mean our enemies taste the rainbow?
yes, I guess it does.
So it's a Skittle sword, is what you're saying.
It is exactly the Skittle sword. If we could
Can we
rename
get
the sword.
Yes. Some guy. Funny. Not too sure why he decides to spawn in midair.
Usually don't bother with that Orichalcum, but
Safety.
it helps for the last.
As long
at
as we
least
don't
final forms.
much time.
Those are some kind dodges.
Yeah, those floors are actually being really nice to us.
One more floor to
We'll
go.
never see a run with like this low encounters. I actually should see how many Fogstones we have. We probably have like at least in the 30s, I would guess, which is 10 extra Fogstones that I would normally buy.
Yeah, subtract 10 from normal. Yeah, I'm going to.
ここでは負けられ
Let's
ない
take a look. 27.
A few extra having to run for Battle Cry and run back for the.
That's true.
That's that's true. That's, I'm sorry. I thought
すぐに
it's with a very large wingspan. I do have a giant. Little puzzle here.
Last puzzle.
Flying sits, or sorry, flying for long.
Try to remember that little optimization. Don't press X before you get to this one, or it doesn't. let you.
Yeah, sometimes if you get a little too antsy on pushing the button, it'll kind of lock back into it. On any of these, like switch,
Yeah.
it's like a pedestal, not a switch.
Ooh.
What are you
No,
doing?
it is that way.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
Left and then right.
I mean, do you want to fight 3
I
dinosaurs?
like fighting 3 dinosaurs.
Yeah.
Let me give an example. Okay, last fight. No dodging. I like trying to dodge as much for
So
fun.
final Fogstone count is 25.
先を
Guardian. Maybe we'll see it at a useful time, but it's another singularity that I mentioned there. Again, singularities are just random effects that can happen whenever you take an action at a really low chance. Guardian Goddess has the thing of just for 20 seconds. For all intents and purposes, you just can't die. You can't drop below 1 HP. Particularly useful in a few of the harder fights where we're worrying about dying. And actually, my particular fight, Guardian Goddess. So something about why be good when you can be lucky.
We do have a $5 anonymous donation. Bradfield, thank you very much for your donations.
Thank you, Jim.
There's a bright light obscuring something on here.
Yes, I guess that would be true. But it kind of works out a little bit.
Yeah. See? I told you I had a plan.
So a little bit of quick story. She's basically been trying to guide us to defeat the Dark Samsara. So Setsuna is the sacrifice, or sorry, the law is the sacrifice here, and she's going to ask us, Dark Samsara is getting too strong. Do you way, or then we have to make his choice, but it's kind of those things of kill it. And the interesting thing that the time judge will explain here is that this is the first time that your party has come here. Basically, it's kind of you're stuck in a time loop. Your party has been stuck in a time loop, and every time they've gotten to the time judge, they've answered, we want to seal Dark Samsara away. And then the time judge will be like, no, we can't do that. Let's until they answer the correct answer of kill it. But the different thing about this time around is Bad Breaks is with Bad Breaks has not been with us. But before we can do that, we have to do a test of
Prove
time
ourselves.
judge. As easy as Reaper 4. Or
One crit,
hard
perfect.
as Reaper 4. Thank you, I know you can do it. There you go.
Yeah, she's weak to one of the.
I believe she's
shadow.
weak to
To dark.
Dark,
dark.
yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Which Grand Cross does both light and dark.
And
And the interesting thing about dual and triple attacks is that it treats any resistances on the monster as if it was neutral. Vulnerabilities still stay, but if, in this case, the time judge is strong against light, but because it's a triple attack, it reduces it to neutral.
by the way,
So
we
yeah,
get
we actually
one
get this
final character. I guess we have to give him a name. don't
indebted
we?
to the law and the doctor. So we have a very important name. Just I,
Oh,
I.
yeah.
because well,
I fought the law,
and the
The
law.
law won.
You guys are so cheesy.
It was worth it the entire time for this.
Yeah, that's the whole reason you wanted to do this run.
generous donation for naming.
The law.
The law has been pretty projected here and saying, what game are we playing? Oh, we're
The
playing I
Law.
Am the Law.
Yep.
So coming up on the, we'll do, make sure to, it's a marathon. We'll save, we'll heal up, we'll do all the minor cutscene, and then we'll have to make a decision. So.
So get your last minute donations
Freddie
in for
is
that.
clearly delaying here.
Nope, not at all. What are you talking about?
We are at $230.16 out of 500 for that.
Not
And
really
We'll
fast.
need a savior.
Very short
Like,
amount of time.
really,
yeah.
really fast at this point.
So
I can always
Really good.
reload the save if it does get met between. Like, I'm okay with that. We have the time.
normally doing Samsara and final form Samsaras. You'll see in a second here, we're going to go to this zone where we, it's a kind of a, okay, this is the final area, you can't go back. There's the 4 statue if you walk up to the statue, it'll be a kind of a refight of a previous boss. And for each statue you kill, it makes Samsara a little bit weaker. So if we leave all 4 statues up, Samsara is very difficult, and I will actually point out that if you try to, you can't fight with all 4 statues up. You guys aren't ready for it. I think we are ready. If someone... so, do we want to... Did someone donate $270 at the end?
I haven't seen the total go up, so.
So...
Right statue it is.
We can always hope, but it's...
So, at this point, we'll just do...
Normal speedrun strats.
normal
Here we
speedrun
go.
strats. We're going to kill 3 statues. Each because they take a bunch of damage from Grand Cross. This one so you have to make sure people don't die. And the reason we
All the
kill
crits.
3 and not all 4 statues is because the there is actually kind of scary. As we were complaining about, this tiger also just has a chance of, oh, I'm going to look at the law, and the law is going to die. And because it's so fast, easily just one-shot someone. Even with, okay, I'm going to use a food. By the way, make sure to use foods here.
Yeah.
So in these next 2 fights, we're actually going to take the time to use food, because these guys have nasty attacks they can do. This one is the bird from the very beginning of the game. And we mentioned at the beginning of the game, if you were here about 3.5 hours ago, it has a nasty attack called, is it Wing Beat? Well,
It's basically Falcon Head. Dive attack is.
yeah, dive attack is making fun. But that's a really good attack.
At $25 anonymous odds, we choose to fight Blossom Dance. I wish the best of luck in this run. Much cheers from Trig.
One in the back looks like kind of like a snake, maybe a little bit like Loch Ness
I
Monster.
don't know. I'm more like Loch Ness Monster.
Yeah, yeah. It must be Ness.
I got its tree 50 this time. It's okay. Tree 50. Sorry.
So, like the first fight, the refight will always open up with Tidal Wave, and if we don't have the law,
A lot of damage. When the final form of Samsara does it.
yeah. So the interesting thing about Samsara is not only are its stats increased for each statue up, it actually gets move sets from Schwarzsturm or Nesser, or whatever we want to call it, up. It has the ability to be like, okay, I can Tidal Wave. Tidal Wave is really scary. When we fight it, does have some chance to use Gale Rush, which is that really nasty single target hitting attack that the Tiger can do. But also has we one-shot these statues. We can't just one-shot Samsara here. Using a combination of Luminaire, Grand Cross, and Battlecry situationally. Sorry, not Luminaire. I meant.
Ironically, the attacks that it gains from the Tiger aren't nearly as nasty as when
As
the Tiger does.
itself, it's not that great, but it can't one-shot someone just because its stats are probably just not the same. "Quote-unquote" final fight. Time won't be coming up though, so
Yeah, we got plenty of time.
There'll be some stuff after the fight we have to do. Judge Dredd for the future of this world. I cannot die here. Well, Grakes, we're counting on you. So it is susceptible to. And I'll kind of wait to see what it does here.
My hand is burning red. It's loud roar tells me the grass.
We're not even doing Burning Finger yet.
I stopped doing it, sorry.
Yeah. So using Battlecry there, and a Momentum Battlecry does some pretty nice things. It defends and attack. Just remove the slow, which is actually a pretty good thing because it's kind of a waste of a turn for it because we'll just reapply the slow. We're kind of making sure it doesn't do some scary attacks, some hard-hitting single target attacks, mostly. Twisted and eventually turned into like Dark Samsara and started kind of wrecking havoc on the worlds. So the Time Judge, started this whole thing of sealing away Dark Samsara, but over time it has grown in strength and Like that's kind of makes a reference to like when you save, it was like part of like an earlier run or something.
Timeline, yeah, basically. Save points are actually like kind of baked into the game as a logical reason why you could restart from a certain point.
They kind of make sense of that.
Yeah.
So where did we go back to? This is the Nye Village, or Harbor.
Soon to be village. So there is going to be a important question soon.
Oh, yes.
We're going to have to kill or save something. So I think chat should know what to do with.
You need some help from the host.
Hey, Abda, if you want to start checking Twitch chat and give us a consensus of what people want us to kill or save.
Kill or save.
I'll leave what
All right, guys. We'll have about 3-4 minutes before we have to make that decision.
Yep.
And then after that decision, the run will be over.
If you want to kill,
spam it in chat.
Or save, spam it in chat. Well, I'll try and get a very accurate count here.
Yeah.
As accurate as possible.
We need this to be accurate. It must be.
It's very important.
Very important. We're just told to go to the monuments. There's some figure that someone saw over there. You don't need to dodge the penguins. They're not there.
It's a habit, okay?
I do the same thing. It's okay. And technically, there will be another fight. Slight optimization you can do here.
Very slight.
Very slight.
You wait for a momentum. That's the thought.
Whoa, now you're ruining it.
Or hope for a crit.
Yeah.
Or hope for a crit. Do you want to hope for a crit?
No.
Oh, man. Look at this guy. He doesn't believe. Watch there be a crit.
I think we have a pretty good consensus here.
Okay, well, we'll ask in a little bit what
we got a couple minutes.
Not quite.
Okay.
But so this is I was talking about regarding Dark Samsara. So you can kind of based on this whole theme of the game is based on sadness.
Sadness and loneliness.
So the youth basically became stuck by itself, like no one to love it, care for it, and it now has an intense hatred for what? Never forgive what? Never forget? Oh, humans.
Never forgive humans.
Yeah. And oh, I'm sorry, the law. All right.
Defeating him of our destiny.
All right.
As the law, you must.
Technically, final fight here.
Crit.
Oh, he went for it. So the optimal way to do this fight would be to wait for a momentum, then use a momentum attack. Or if you
Has
get a
anyone
crit,
actually
though,
timed this actually?
Oh,
you can't.
it
get
has
off in
it has
time.
to do with the. Now you get the crit.
There's
Game,
been a number
please.
of unnecessary
Game,
crits.
please. I know, right?
I think we're probably.
So what's
gonna
the
need-
consensus?
Yeah.
Consensus is to
Okay. That means I have to pay attention.
You have to pay attention. So what are we
Fortunately, it's an easy
saving?
cue. Maybe.
Maybe.
Kind of.
Okay, I won't touch anything. I don't.
We'll
want
just-
Yep.
yeah.
Time is coming
Once
up
we
very
make
shortly.
the decision. The law has absorbed the youth into her, and we have to make the decision:
Please destroy
Save
my
or-
body.
save or kill the law. And you guys chose to save the law.
So we're gonna save the law.
And time.
Clap for yourself. We saved
The law.
Hey, beat estimate. Good job.
That's good. That's good.
It's
Thank
actually a
you.
pretty good time for forgetting a few things.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That would have beat my.
True. If we didn't forget battle cry.
I mean,
If
it
we had
probably would have
better-
been closer if you said save or break.
はい、
おー
それでは生贄と
Well, we
雪
didn't
の
want to
刹
give
那
it
が
away
今
while
終
you
わ
were
っ
saving.
て、今エンディング
Maybe that
中
would have
な
been
んです
better,
が、
though.
告知をいたします。エンディング終了後ですね、ちょっと、
Do
One
a
more
little-
cutscene and then make an action.
PC の再起動
We should probably move
と
on.
か行いますので、5分ほどちょっと放送が途切れます。はい。それで、ちょっと、
Like we got
ちょっとね、
Nice
あの、
wrap up, but
You should
まあ、
play
放
the
送
game
を
yourself.
VLC で、
this has been a
ま
lot
あ、
of
再
fun
配信している
doing this
形になってるんですが、ちょっと
with
それ
Freddeh.
を
We kind of did
見
the
直
last
し
minute in terms of the co-op.
などをしてか
Oh,
ら
like I said, it was
再
only
配
co-op.
信を
Actual co-op
We'll
of
just do
someone
し
having
ますの
like
で、
the other person have
Oh, yeah,
ま
we can just do this. So it's actually a co-op,
あ、
right?
お待ちいただけると
So yeah,
ありがたいと思います。
everybody. We had a
あの
great
テスト
time.
の時では
Now
こういう
you're
状
awesome.
況にならなかっ
So
た
you're
ので、
awesome.
ちょっと、
Everyone out there in Twitch land,
原因をね、
you're awesome.
調べな
Everyone
が
else
ら
at
ちょっ
the
とやって
event,
たんです
you're
が、
also awesome.
Thanks
ちょっとあんまり
for the log, and
まあおそら
yeah,
く
funny.
おそらくまあ配信ツールなのか原因なのかなっていうところもあるので、ちょっと、まあ、5分から10分ほどお時間
In the lock.
かかりま
And we just
す。
have a $5 donation.
その辺ご了承をお願い
Donor
しま
says
す。
Je t'aime, Ariel, which I guess is French for
ではちょっと終わりましたので、一旦ちょっと終了させていただきます。それで、その間に、5月16日分の内容に更新したり、先ほど言った作業をしますので、一旦失礼させていただきます。